Okay, so it seems like everyone is comfortable. That's good. So the very first thing what I'm getting started is, of course, with the agenda of our session. Okay, now, of course, to begin with, let me just go on the top. I hope you would have been through this course outline, which would have been shared with you. We'll be talking about a section called as Introduction to Jira, where we'll be just shaking hands within Jira and understanding that who are you, what kind of activities, what kind of process do you handle, what is that you are for, how you can help me optimize the way I work in my organization, and what is the way I can definitely make my manual activities more interesting and more efficient. So of course you will be getting to know a lot about Jira as a part of the first module. And to be frank, you will already have your foundation built up once you are done with your lesson 1, that is Introduction to Jira, because we'll be learning a lot of things here, and that is what we will be getting started with. The lesson 2 will talk about the test management specifically, because most of the time we generally have criticality with the test management, and a lot of testers look forward to have a solution. And being a Scrum Master, I see most of you are Scrum Master here as well, and most of you are new as well. To that extent, we understand that managing the test and test resources becomes a complicated challenge at any point of time for certain organizations. So understanding that how exactly you can manage your test and related resources using something called as Zephyr. Okay, the Zephyr is a add-in, or you can call it as a plugin, which will be installed from marketplace. Like, we have a lot of, you do understand what is Google Play Store or App Store of iOS. The same way here in Jira, we have a marketplace where you can go and shop for any kind of plugin to enable certain activities within Jira. By default, Jira will give you a lot of options, but if there are certain restrictions, you have a lot of apps to install and enable that activity. And I'll be definitely explaining you everything about that right from the scratch. Then in lesson 3, you will talk about the defect management, which is another important aspect of testing or any project, or be it a support project as well. If you're not talking about a software, you can call it as a service request, you can call it as a ticket, or you can call it as an issue, or anything like defect. Now, managing that is very, very important for us because it is an issue. It has a negative impact on the product. It has to be resolved, and it has to be resolved well within time with all necessary information. So how exactly we can manage defects within Jira, we will be understanding in the lesson 3. As a part of lesson 4, you will understand something called as Jira Query Language. Now, Jira Query Language basically stands for a language which is used internally within Jira. So just like SQL, we have JQL. Okay, so within Jira, there is a database, of course, it is a repository. It stores all your information, whatever you create. Thus, it requires you to make certain searches at any point of time. You can do basic searches using filter options, but if you want to do certain advanced searches using JQL, you need to know what is JQL. How do you write that? So we will be getting a little bit on that as well, and we will execute some of the queries and see that how you can make your search more convenient and easy to handle certain outputs. And of course, we will be talking about generating reports at any point of time. Being a Scrum Master, it is important for you to keep a track on the progress of the project. So at any point of time, you want to generate a report and see that how you're progressing, what your team is doing, who is working on what number of tasks, and how many are pending on that. So there are a lot of things which you can actually generate as a part of report, and you can include them on your dashboards as well. And of course, there is something specific called as Jira Agile, which is specific to the Agile interface, okay, which you will be understanding in more detailed way, that how it can be specific to certain specific boards. Okay, there are different boards you can see here, which we will be exploring in a little more detail. And then, of course, the final section, which means the wrapping up, we will be covering A to Z quick recap and understanding that, yes, this is what we have covered in the 3 days of time. At any point of time, as I was just talking to Vishwanath, and if you think that there's something specific which you might have heard from someone, or you saw your colleague doing that on Jira, and you didn't understand that what exactly he was trying to do, how he did that. So you are free to share those things with me, and I'm not restricted. I'm not restricted to this agenda. If we think we have some time and we have this, quality cushion, I would love to do that. Okay. I would definitely add value by doing such options beyond the agenda as well. Okay. But just keep it restricted to the instance which we'll be working on. All right, team. So I think that we are done with the introduction session of our day one. And now I think I should be getting inside the agenda as on today. So
Neeraj, Praveen here. Just one point. So I also hear that the requirements can be actually tracked in the Jira tool itself. So
yes.
Is that also covered here?
Probably I can show you that tomorrow when we come to the marketplace, because managing a requirement can be done with help of epics and user stories. So that will be just as a type of work item. Okay. So just a type of work item, you will create a epic or you create a user story, and then you create them into tasks or break them into simple tasks and manage it as a part of product or sprint backlog. So that you will be definitely covering.
Okay. Fine.
Anything else, team, at this point of time, if you have it in your mind? Okay. So, yeah. Anyone?
Yeah. So the Jira software is free download, or it is a paid software?
It is actually a paid software, but there are certain options where you can have Jira for some time without paying for it. Okay, so I will help you right here. That's what you're going to understand in the first two modules. That is getting started with Jira and how to install Jira. So I'll be exploring everything about that side, and I will be telling you. Now, I want to know from all of you, before we get into our day one and very first topic, how many of you have access to Jira right? Is there anyone who has access to Jira to work on it? Or is that no one has?
I do have, but the basic access, we have some restrictions.
Okay, so you're using your professional version of Jira or something?
You're talking about the personal or the in the office corporate you're talking, which access?
I'm talking about personal because I don't want to hamper any of your official data.
No, not then.
Okay. So my question is, anyone has access to the personal version of Jira?
No, Neeraj.
Okay. So all of you are completely as of no instance you have on your machine. Okay. Now, the second question, what I'm asking you, that are you using a professional company-based laptop or your personal laptop? Because probably sometime you are not allowed to do that work.
Personal only.
Personal.
Office laptop.
Personal one.
Personal. Okay, so I see one of you said office.
Yeah, I am Vaijnath.
Okay, Vaijnath. So Vaijnath, okay, I think you can still access your Gmail on that, right? It's not secure.
Yeah, I can require
security policy or something.
I cannot access the Gmail, but I can forward that email to the company email ID, and then I can access it.
Okay, no, it's not about that. It's about okay, probably Jira is accessible, then probably you can access, because maybe generally your office laptops are configured with connected with VPNs and other things, so they generally keep a track on what links you are accessing and what is that you're trying to do. So not sure. You might have to check with your security team that if you are allowed to do a personal installation of not installation, basically you will be using a cloud instance. So ask them for cloud instance of Jira, that can I make use of a cloud instance of Jira to practice. So if they approve that request, you can do the installation. Okay.
Okay. Otherwise, I do have a personal laptop.
Then please simultaneously you can have that on, and you don't have to do anything else.
Yes,
okay?
Sure.
Yes. Yeah. For learning, you can use this, your office laptop, but for practices, please have a different laptop, because I don't want you to get into trouble. I know the consequences. Right. Okay. Thank you so much, team, for all these information, because this is kind of prerequisite. Yes, Prasanna, you have anything?
No, Neeraj, no.
All right, thank you. Because if I see you on unmute, I wonder that I missed you something.
Neeraj, I have a small question. So
Please.
I think somewhere you mentioned about tracking the requirements in Epic and initiatives,
Yes.
right? So will you be showing us about creating the user story and tracking the
course.
related? Okay, yeah, sure. That answers
Everything.
Yeah.
Don't worry. All right. Thank you so much for that contribution there. We will be getting started shortly. So now, again, please follow the principle number 1, which I told you. That is, during the demonstrations, have your complete attention on the screen and try to understand everything, because I'll be probably showing one click, but I'll be talking about 10 statements on that click. So that is what you grab from the training. Otherwise, you can learn from YouTube videos or Udemy sessions as well, right? Of course, you have a free option. But why are you in a training? By making a payment for that, because you want to explore something more. So make sure that you have complete attention on the screen when I'm talking. And after that, of course, I'll give you a lot of time to do those practices back again on your screen or on your machine. All right. So now, the very first thing which we are getting started is to say hello to the Jira. Now, let me start sharing my screen. And if anyone has any issues viewing my screen, please report me. Okay. So right now, my screen should be visible to all of you. Is there anyone who is not able to see the screen? Just drop me a chat. So the very first thing to start with is we will be first setting up an instance, a private instance for us, okay? So that you can do everything in Jira at your private space and nobody else knows what is that you are doing, and you are completely confidential. And at the same time, you have a freedom to get all the access what you might have at any point of time. So all you have to do is you have to go to Atlassian, atlassian.com, okay? But if you just come here, there are some recent changes happening, and this is your only website to get any kind of product from the Atlassian. Atlassian is the company which has created this product called as Jira. And if you come here on the menu option, you will see that there are products. Just drop down here and you will see all the products which are there in the market from Atlassian. So Jira is one of the project or one of the product. Okay, we have, and we have versions or variants of Jira. We have Jira software for project and issue tracking, Jira Align, which is another product that we have called as Enterprise Agile Planning. And then we have Jira Core, Jira Service Management, OpsGenie, Status Page, Confluence, Trello, Bitbucket, SourceTree, Bamboo, Atlassian Access, and Crowd. So these are a lot of different things, and probably in your organization, you might have heard of these other variants as well. Because when it comes to an organization, they're just not restricted to Jira software. They make use of Confluences as well to manage their documentation. They make use of Jira Service Management if they are talking about the task management or service desk or ticketing management. Then they make use of Jira Service Management. So there are different things to manage different part of your project. Okay, and different types of project. So all these variants are available to anyone in the world who just wants to make use of Jira for their specific needs. And of course, I'll be giving you some basic outline for some of the important parameters here or important products here, which are common in the world today. But of course, there are certain things which are completely extinct that not all of them use it. Only few organization, limited organization makes use of it. Then we will just skip those things, right? But yeah, of course, I'll give you highlights of most of the things here so that at least you know that what this product is about. All right. We will be mainly making use of Jira software, which is for project and issue tracking. Okay. So all our entire session, whatever your queries and questions you ask me right now, and the agenda we have looked on, we will be covering it with help of Jira software, and we will understand all the concepts. Now, if I go to Jira software, I see that it will take me to the Jira page and it says that get it for free, which means that I can use it for certain duration without paying anything. Okay, so I can just go here and go for get it free. But before I click on this button, I would like you to have a look on a basic introduction to Jira so that you know what exactly Jira is and how we can start working on that. Okay. So getting started with the very first part of our Jira session. What is Jira? Why should we use Jira? What are Jira products? And which Agile methodology is used in Jira? This will answer your very first foundation questions or basic foundation level information about Jira, and at least build up that basic understanding that what are you trying to understand. Now, of course, Jira is a tool developed by an Australian company called as Atlassian. It is a bug tracking tool initially. When Jira was first created as a product, it was generally created for bug tracking because that was a challenging thing as a part of your project initially. And Atlassian contributed to the market with something called as Jira and helped them to call it as issue management tool. Now later they optimized it, upgraded it, and made it to project planning and tracking tool. Okay, so that was the transition. Because initially we had really good challenges to manage the defects, and a lot of defects used to slip away because of proper or improper management of the defects. So we wanted a good solution every time in the market. Following that, of course, it helped you to manage a lot of other things which you saw on the list of the product. So each product of Jira, Atlassian, is from different point of view. The word Jira basically comes from a Japanese word called as Gojira, which means Godzilla. That means it's kind of big. Godzilla, you know the term. So which means that it's everything. It's going to have all the things what you need, and it's quite huge. And of course, Jira is an ocean. Probably whatever you will be learning is just one segment of it. But of course, you need that one segment right now. Being later into the different parts of different domains of organization, you would need different products. But at this point of time, when you're talking about being into agile process or talking about task management, talking about requirement management, issue management, ticketing management, you will cover everything in this session. Okay. Now, Jira helps you to do many things, including project management, issue tracking, tracking and monitoring, workflow management. What do you mean by that? Project management is, of course, the entire project schedule and the activities which happens within a particular project. Issue tracking is any kind of activity. Issue is the common word used in Jira because they call any activity as an issue by default. But this issue can be a task, can be a user story, or can be a bug, can be a test as well. Okay, but in Jira, we call it as an issue because that's the title they have given. Initially, they created as a issue tracking tool, right? So they still have the name called as issue. But of course, an issue can be of different types. We have different variants as like user story, task, bug, or test, or maybe anything else which you want to have. Tracking and monitoring, which is very important aspect of any project. Just planning and scheduling activities is not important. At any point of time, being a good manager or probably Scrum Master, you need to have a good tracking source. And tracking generally helps you to identify any kind of deviations from the schedule or plan which you have laid out. At any point of time, if you see any kind of deviations from your schedule or plan, then you take necessary control actions to overcome that deviation. And that can only happen if you are having a proper tracking and monitoring plan deployed. Okay, so Jira will assist you with that as well, to keep an eye on every activity which happens within the project and give you necessary reports or necessary updates at different interval of time to keep you posted with the tracking and monitoring activities. Whereas workflow management stands for what kind of workflow your activities will make use of. I hope you would have seen certain workflows already with different activities or different softwares. Generally, once a particular issue is logged in a system, then what is the life cycle of an issue is called as a workflow. For example, if you talk about human beings, of course, human beings start with getting born and then continue to their childhood, then get into teenagers, and then become the adulthood, and of course, the senior citizens. And during this span, they have different variants, they have different commitments, they have different objectives. Probably in childhood, you wanted to be something, but later when you grew, you realized that this is not my cup of tea. So you moved into some other domain. When you got settled, you probably got married and then you got children. So you had a different objective. Now you wanted to build a career or bright future of the kids rather than yours. So things changes, right? So similarly, when we talk about different projects, different domains, domain basically stands for any kind of segment like banking, healthcare, e-commerce, or aerospace. So different domains have different objectives. Different projects comes with different expectations. So of course, the workflow will also be different. So what is that workflow and how do you can set it up in order to see that this is what I need and this is what should happen. So yes, workflow will help you to understand that how your each activity will be traveling through a life cycle. And that's what you call it as workflow management here. So yes, we will be covering each one of these here in our session by one or the other way. So please stay tuned for that. Following that, of course, main usage is planning, tracking, and support. Support is from the customer support point of view. Generally, a lot of organizations who work on the back end to support their customers, and of course, take their service request. So generally, if one fine day your washing machine is not working, you just give a call to a toll-free number starting with 1800. And they say that, yes, we have logged your complaint, sir. This is your service request number. One of our executive will be there at your place and resolving the issue. Now, that's where an issue is logged. Of course, the support management plays a vital role because I should not miss any tickets or I should not miss out any service request raised by any customer. That's how you fulfill the quality part in the second half of the product. First half is by delivering the product. Second half is by giving proper assistance. So that's where Jira is also helpful in managing all these support services or ticketing management as well. Additionally, of course, what else do you get in Jira? We have projects, we have issues, workflow, search. Search is a very important thing. It's just not simple to say like Google search, that you go to Google and type something and search for it. No. Here we mean that when we start working on a project, probably I would have created around thousands of defects, right? Or thousands of issues raised by different customers. How do I search something specific? Do I have certain specific criteria with me? Like I want to see only the tickets with priority high and status open. This is what we call it a search here. So search is just not about typing something and getting the output. Search plays a very important role in any kind of software. That if you don't have a good search options, probably you have to still do your manual activities. And that could be tedious. So search is the best option which you are getting as a part of Jira software as well. Because every software has this feature, Jira also has this. Plus the dashboards. Dashboard is basically a place where you can add multiple indicators. Indicator means a matrix, a calculation, which is going to tell you that what exactly are you trying to monitor. And dashboard, at one place, you can see all the indicators, which will update you that how your different indicators are progressing. Okay, so at any point of time, you want to see multiple things at one place, you make use of dashboard, just like your car dashboard. Because why do we call it as dashboard of a car? The reason is it has multiple indicators at one place. You can see your speedometer, you can see accelerometer, you can see your fuel indicator, and many other things on your dashboard, right? That's the reason you call it as a dashboard. Same way here, the dashboard will be there, and we will be understanding about the same. Further to add, of course, why should we use Jira? That's the most important question. There are so many competitive tools in the market, and they have got good features as well. Why Jira over them? Jira is fully customizable. When I say fully, it means that. What do you mean by that? That means completely end to end, this tool can be customized right from the creation of an instance or installing the version till the moment you want it to be used. Okay. Anything what you see in Jira or you will be seeing in Jira from today can be customized. That means it can be changed based on your project specifications or organization structure or needs. And that's the best feature why Jira is trending today, because it is just not specific. Believe me or not, you can even change the logo of the Jira in the product because they give you that much freedom that if you're using within your organization, you should always see your organization logo, not my logo. They have even given that option to customize. You can even change the color and layout of the entire Jira software. So all these are possible. Okay, Jira is a platform independent tool. That's the next benefit. That means you don't have to be restricted that if you're using Microsoft Windows, then only you can use Jira. No, you can use it on any software, be it Macintosh, Linux, or Windows, anything. You can make use of it. Jira is a multilingual tool. That means multi-language. You can use it in any languages, just like Facebook or LinkedIn. You can switch between the languages. If you want to use it in German, you want to use it in Spanish, you want to use it in Japanese, you don't have to stick yourself to English. Okay, so if you want, you can even change the language of the entire tool to your local language, and the tool can be localized. Jira can support MySQL, Oracle, PostgreSQL, and SQL Server in the backend. We have to understand at this point of time that Jira is a database, or technically we call it as a repository, because you will be creating a lot of things. And of course, it needs a database to store everything, whatever you create. So of course, what kind of database Jira can support? So as you can see, Jira can support SQL to NoSQL, anything. So Postgres are your NoSQL example. And you can even have a SQL Server installation, like the operating system, and you can make use of Jira there as well. Okay, so any databases supported. Jira can be run locally in a company data center or in cloud and is licensed accordingly. Okay, so this is a paid tool. We call it as commercial tool. So it's not basically a freeware, but Jira has given different versions to their users so that everyone feels comfortable to make use of Jira. So some of the small organizations can avail free version of Jira for lifelong, but it has certain restrictions. We will understand it in a while. Second, we do have the cloud instance or their physical server instance. Now, server instances are used by the organization who has a big crowd and of course can afford a server in their in-house premises. And they can install a server version and have all their data related to their organization within their premises. But there are organizations who are small startups and they cannot afford a server in their premise. It might be very expensive for them. For them, we have cloud. We have cloud instances that you can host servers from Jira itself, that is Atlassian, and create your instance there, and all your data will be secured by them. Of course, they have a privacy policy and data confidentiality clause, so that whatever data you are storing in their databases will not be released or leaked like Twitter and Facebook to anyone else. Okay, so those kind of things are also available. So you have a lot of things to explore, but right now we are just restricted to a basic introduction. Jira can be integrated with many other tools. That's the most important benefit. Generally, when you have a very good solution for your organization, but there are a few things which you might be managing in a different tool. And that time you wonder that I wish I could export these informations to Jira from a tool XYZ, right? But you see no provision. That means I cannot integrate this tool to the Jira software. Now that's what the problem will happen, because you still have to import manually and export manually or upload it manually to Jira. So that's where Jira has given this provision to all their users that it can be integrated with all particular famous tools in the market today, like Subversion, Git, ClearCase, Team Foundation software, Mercury softwares, which is now gone to Micro Focus. In between, it was gone to HP. So I hope you know what is Mercury, like Quality Center, if you remember, Load Runner, Quick Test Professional, QTP. So all these tools were from Mercury, which has later taken over by HP and now finally taken over by Micro Focus. So all these tools now lie with Micro Focus. So all these softwares can be integrated with Jira, plus concurrent version systems and many more. So whatever you see, like Bitbucket, Git, so all these softwares can be integrated with Jira. So ease of access and that convenience, what you need to have within your organization, is given by Jira. So you don't have to worry about anything. If you have Jira, then whatever else you are using can be very well integrated and managed through Jira itself. Okay, so a lot of things. And of course, countless add-ons to further enhance the functionality. So that's what is Marketplace. In the Marketplace, if you think that Jira does not have anything by default, You can just go to Marketplace and shop for any vegetables or fruits and just install that on Jira and enable that feature. Okay, so Atlassian has verified all these products, all these plugins, and you just have to be safe and secure in going and installing that product. And we will do that. I'll show you a demonstration of going to Marketplace and installing an add-on that is Zephyr for test management. Okay, because by default, Jira does not offer test management. Okay, so these are a few of the things which we just wanted. Of course, there are various versions I've shown you on the homepage. We have major versions as Jira Software, Jira Core, and Jira Service Desk, which is now called as Jira Service Management. This happened just a few weeks ago, around 1 or 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. They changed the name from Jira Service Desk to Jira Service Management. And which Agile methodology is used in Jira? Of course, there are different variants of Agile when you talk about Scrum, Kanban, Scaled, or even mixed Agile approaches like crystals and other things, XP, right? Jira supports everything. You can make use of Scrum, you can make use of Kanban, or even if you can have your mixed methodology, where it is a combination of few other approaches of Agile. You can, be making use of that as well within your Jira software. Plus, even the Scale Agile is supported. So everything, no matter what you're using today as a part of Agile methodologies, you will be accommodated in Jira software very well. Okay, you don't have to just wonder that what if I'm using Kanban? What if I'm using Scaled Agile? Or what if I'm using a mixed approach? Jira supports everything because it is 100% customizable. You can just customize as per your need. If you need it, we have it. That's all. Okay. Well, so these are the things which we have just covered, and now we will be getting back to our Jira software. Now, at this point, do you have any questions?
Yeah, you said that we can use mixed. Mixed means Kanban and Scrum both can be mixed.
Yes.
Okay.
So hi Neeraj, Neeti
Yeah.
this side. So Neeraj, how do we determine which Atlassian product will be best suited for our organization? For example, we saw many different products for Jira. So how to determine which will be the best suited for our projects or organization?
It completely depends on your needs, Nidhi. First of all, that you need to decide what are your problems. For example, is it a requirement management? Is it about test management? Or is it about ticketing management? And then you see we have a lot of heavy documentation. So you just determine those things first. And then, look into Atlassian that what kind of solutions they have. So Jira software will actually take your end-to-end project management, be it agile or traditional model, and Confluence will handle from the documentation point of view. If you are also having a customer support, like who is taking care of your end product after the release, then you can have Jira Service Management to manage the ticketing. And there are similarly many other things. What if your codes are being, you use a continuous integration, okay, to develop your product? Then you have a lot of codes managed in the Bitbucket or Git, right? You merge your code through that. Then, of course, that will be, again, another component which you can integrate. So this is how you go about that.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Neeraj.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Anything else, team? Okay, so now let's get back to our installation part. And here I'll be showing you the steps to set up your account. So you see that probably I'm already, having an account, but he's asking me to log in because, of course, I've done several sessions on Jira and probably I don't have enough email IDs left out. But let's see if I can use any of the other instances. So what you have to do is, first step, you have to go to atlassian.com. Okay, step number 1. Then come to Jira software. Now, the next important thing here, Jira has 2 major variants for installation. Okay, please don't confuse yourself with the products. We have a number of products here, correct? Now I'm talking about the installation. We have 2 different variants of installation and we call it as type of instance. Okay, let me just make use of a whiteboard rather. Okay, so when it comes to the installation of Jira products, they have two types of instances or installation. Number one is cloud-based and second is server-based. What do you mean by cloud-based? That means you cannot afford a physical server in your organization, but you want to make use of Jira. Then you can go for a cloud instance. Okay, cloud instance. That means you can create an instance of your Jira software on Atlassian's cloud, Atlassian servers and data centers, and you can make use of product. Okay, you don't have to worry about having a server on your organization. But if you're a bigger organization and you don't want to put your data somewhere outside, then you can obviously have a server in your organization and you get a different instance version to install that on the server, which is your physical servers. So right now, as we see that we do not have a server, we will be using the cloud instance of the Jira software. The software which we will be using is Jira software. Okay, this is the product which we'll be using to learn everything. And we will be using the cloud instance of that. The benefit of cloud instance, what you will get here is that, first of all, the cloud instance will allow you to have freedom to use the product for no cost, okay, up to certain users. And then it is available for lifetime for that limited user. You don't have to pay at all, but its limited user is up to 10. But any organization may have more than 10 people. That's where they charge for the license. But up to 10 users, you don't have to pay anything to them. But of course, cloud will not allow you to make any administrative changes. Okay, that's the only drawback which they give with the cloud instance. That means you cannot customize everything what they promise you in their Jira product. Okay, because you are using a free version of this for the lifetime, then I cannot give you all the features. But of course, the basic project management and tracking and all major options will be there and you can work on it. But the same thing, this admin access is provided in a server instance. So you have to do a server installation and then you will have the control over the tool to manage or customize anything in the entire Jira software. Okay, so right now for the training purpose, we will be using a cloud instance and that is very simple. You just have to create an account and register yourself. That's it. And you are ready to use. But in server, you have to do the server installation first, create the account, then create users, and all these activities will be right from zero. Right from scratch, you have to start everything. Okay, so please be aware that there are two instances, because tomorrow when you wonder that how exactly this is different, then you see that, oh, I learned on cloud instance, but this is a server instance. And another important thing which I should tell you here at this point of time, that you will have slight, simple look and feel changes also between cloud and server instance, but slight. It will not be completely different. So it's not that if you're learning on the cloud, you cannot work on the server instance. Very well. 90 to 95% the server and cloud instance look and feel are same. Options are also same. Just another 5% will be slightly different. Okay, that I'll be highlighting you during our session. That what are those options which we will see differently in server. Okay, so this is one important thing which you should know before you can begin your installation or setting up your cloud instance. So let's go back to our.
Neeraj,
yes, please.
Server instance also free for 10 users, or it is chargeable?
No, it's chargeable. They only give you 30 days trial period for servers instance. So you can install that. 30 days, it will be free of cost. And after that, they will ask you to purchase the license.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Neeraj, the marketing team from sales team has to approach from the organization end with the Atlassian to get the access to.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. All right, so we are here right now. So these are our products. So let's go to Jira software. And you saw the last time I showed you the button that you have a button called as Get It for Free. So just click on this button called as Get It for Free, or you can even click on Get It for Free. If you want to see the pricing, you can click on this You can see the pricing, features, product guide, and enterprise solutions. And then you have a buy now button here on the homepage itself. But right now we will be looking for get it for free. Click on this button and it will take you to that free setup. Now they are saying you have selected Jira software. I hope you are just listening to this. Please do not imitate my activities right now because you will miss a lot of things. Okay, just listen to this or probably make steps, simple notes. So here are on the left side, you will see what all features you will get for free. That is supports up to 10 users or 3 agents. 3 agents are basically kind of like host who can, control the things like project managers and all. Includes 2 GB of storage. That's the limitation on free version. And offers community support. Of course, you can take any kind of support from the Atlassian community. That means you will, if you are stuck at any point of time, you can access the community page of the Atlassian and get resolution of your query anytime. And it is always free, no credit card required at the time of registration, which means that a lot of people say that, initially it will be free, but after 2 months, you will be charged. After 1 month of 30 period trial period, you will be charged automatically. So you have to put your credit cards at the time of registration itself. No. So that's what they're saying. No credit card needed at this point of time. That means you will be free for the lifetime, but these constraints, 10 user or 3 agent, 2 GB of storage. Beyond that, if you go, then of course you will not be able to use or do anything beyond that. And then you will have access to community support. Plus, select a second product. Of course, our first product which we have selected is Jira software. And the second option is we want Confluence as well as Jira Service Management. If you want both of them, or Jira software with Service Management or Jira software with Confluence, you can select them right here. They will automatically configure both the tools for you and you can make use of it. So it's up to you if you want to have any add-ons, but because it will not interrupt you to do any activities. If you want, you can install it, but we will not be getting into that right now in our session. I'll just give you an overview of that. So you can just leave it to Jira software. But if you are excited to explore a little more about those things, please select both the options. Okay, that's up to you. It will not interrupt you to learn any activity, what we will be covering. And then click on next. You can see still here, they say that no credit card required. So they are giving that comfort to their users that believe that it's completely free. Okay. So click on next at this time. And then the next page will ask you to set it up. What is that? Get started. So sign up with email or your Google account. So you can use your Gmail account or create a separate account by using your personalized email ID or whatever it is. So if I go with sign up with email, it will prompt me to use an email ID. Purposefully, they just mention it as work email, but not mandatory that you should use your official email ID or always, because you don't want to have these kind of things going to your official email IDs, right? So you can put your email ID here, password, first name, last name, and agree. That's it. So let me just try if I have any email IDs pending, because generally I have used these instances and they're already created. If not, don't worry, I have a backup. I'll use the already existing instance. So let me use this email ID and he will update me. Oops, an Atlassian account with this email ID already exists. Okay. Okay. Probably I have to, use something else. I just wanted to show you the process of setting up everything right from the scratch. Okay, give me a moment. Let me just create a quick email ID. That's not a big deal, right?
Use mailinator IDs.
Sorry?
That mailinator.com is there, right? Just you will get the mails to your inbox. That's it. You can't send anything. And for test mails kind of stuff. This is the stuff.
Okay. Okay. No, I'm not sure. I've not used that ever before. Any idea how to do that?
Just give it a try. I mean, I don't know how to what extent Jira can send the mails to Mailinator.
Jira will only send you a verification email to verify that this is your email ID. That's it. Other than that, they will send only promotional mail. Okay, just give me a moment. Then I'll just set it up a quick count. Because I want to show you everything from the scratch so that you learn. Okay, so it's done. Okay, so this is the new email ID. So let me reshare my screen with all of you. Okay, so I'm using a different email ID which I just created. That's called as my email ID neeraj@gmail.com. And you just have to set up a password. Let me just go with a simple password which you can remember. Okay, it should be at least 8 characters. So I'm going with 8-character password, and they're saying it's weak. So let me just create a stronger password. That's up to you, okay? It has nothing to do with your security point of view. But yeah, when you're doing it professionally, you need to make sure that your passwords are highly secure. Okay, let's click on agree. So the next step will be, of course, verification, which sees a bicycle. I don't think there are no bicycles here. Skip. Parking meter, of course, just to. Why we are doing this as a part of the session, because at any point of time, if somebody says that I know how to work on Jira, then you should know that how exactly to set it up and what are the steps involved, so that you can even tell anyone. See, when you go back from the training, you tell people that I was just going through a Jira training for the last 3 days. Then they ask you, oh, I also wanted to work. Is there a possibility that I can work on it? without having a professional version of it, then you can say, yes, it's simple. You can go for a cloud instance without any kind of fees, and you can make use of it for lifelong. So these are the things which you should know. Okay, they have sent me an email here. So they will be sending you an email as well when you register. So let me just refresh and see if I've got the mail. Yeah. Okay, so now this guy has identified that I'm already logged in from some other account. Okay, you can just do the registration part and hold on there. Meanwhile, let me just get this resolved. Okay. Go to atlassian.com and just fulfill the steps there.
Neeraj, I have a small question.
Please.
So like some of the requirements, I was just checking the LinkedIn, and I came across some of the requirements like expert in very good in Confluence. And you just mentioned Confluence is only for the documentation and collaboration, right?
Yeah.
So, and the requirement was for Scrum Master. So how we can relate Confluence with the project management? Do we have any option to customize that again?
Yes, of course. See, being a Scrum Master, of course, you need to have a good understanding of Confluence as well. The reason is because most of the organization manage their resources using Confluence. See, Confluence is a product of Atlassian, which is mainly used for managing the work products. Okay, any kind of work products, be it a requirement document or test plan or organization policy or test policy strategy, any kind of written documentation. The reason is it is shared, it is secured, and it is accessible. For example, at any point of time, you want to add a description for an issue that you are writing this user story, but this user story is taken from where? Like traceability. Then you can immediately include a Confluence link if you are already having a Confluence and your requirements are managed there, and it will be simple. Just get it there. Okay. So being a Scrum Master, of course, they will ask you as a profile that you should have learning of Confluence as well, that how to do it. But it's not that critical like Jira software. It is simple. Yeah.
But like, usually if we have Confluence, it is a must to have Jira, either Jira or Rally project management tool, where we have defect tracking as well as all the sustenance work, right?
Of course, of course.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Okay, so I don't know how far you have reached, but I think I have resolved this problem. I've got this mail here, almost there. Please verify your email ID. So please come back to the screen, team. Please concentrate on the Zoom screen right now. And yeah, so you see that I did my registration here. Great. Check your inbox. That means they have sent a verification mail. And I have created an email ID, which is just a dummy email ID. Please don't drop any email on this. Probably I'll be deleting it after the session. So almost there, please verify. So just click on this mail and you have a button here, verify my email address. As you click, it will again take you to the Atlassian account, which you just created. But now they will start setting up your instance. Okay, please keep the, keep a track on the words. What we have done here, we have made use of a cloud instance. What is other instance? Server instance. Okay, server instance requires physical server. Cloud instance just requires your machine because it will be hosted somewhere else. So now we are using cloud instance. The step one was to register. After registration, you have to verify your account, email ID, and then once you verify, you will be on this page. Okay, for the first time, only for the first time. Next time when you log in, these things will not be appearing because this is only for the initial setup. Now here they're asking you, invite your teammates. That means who all are going to work with you. Now remember, as a cloud instance free version, you can have up to 10 colleagues of yours on this instance to contribute and work. Now, if you have any colleagues, you can give them an invite by dropping their email ID. Now, what happens there? When you put their email ID here, for example, james@xyz.com. Now, James will receive an email invitation. Once this James clicks on that link, he will be also asked to create an account. Okay, he will be creating an account just like how you created right now, and then he will be joining you in your project. That's it. Okay, so when you write the email ID, the person receives an invite link, and clicking on that link, he has to register first and then join your team. If he already has an account in Jira, you can include him in your project. That's it. You don't have to recreate the account. You just have to join your project. That's it. So if you want, you can have some email IDs here, or if you want, you can just leave it because you will be working alone on this instance. So let my teammates invite other people also. If you want to allow, you can allow that, or you can disable that. Only you will send the invitation to add people. Click on continue. Now, this is just a basic thing, okay? This setup is just a simple thing. If you want, you can do it, or you can just randomly select anything or skip, okay? Because rest all we will be doing it in the training. So don't worry about that. They ask you, am I dash, like new to Jira or experienced with Jira? So let's go with our audience level. Let's say new to Jira. I don't know anything about Jira. My team is dash to Agile methodologies, new to Agile methodology or experience. I say experience. I know about Agile, but I don't know about your product Jira. We spend our time working on what? Feature, support, or fixing bugs. So let's select, all of us should select. Let's go for features right now. Okay, I'll tell you the other things later. So these are the options which I'm selecting. You can also select the same. We have dash schedule to finish our work, tight schedule or flexible. So say we have tight schedule. So this is just going to do some slight, templates and other things, but it's not going to impact your overall project that we will be creating right from the scratch. So just fill up some information here. But this one, third option, please select features, because that will change the layout of your project. If you're using a support operation, the workflow will be different. Okay, but if you're using features for Agile, workflow will be different. So please select features here, and rest all keep it like new to experience with and tight schedule. Stay next. If you want, you can skip. So you know that if there is an option called a skip, that means this is not going to impact your architecture at all. Now, select a template. What type of project you are working on? When you're saying that you are experienced with Agile, is it a Scrum? Is it a Kanban? Or is it a bug tracking specifically? For example, issue management. Entire project is about managing the issues. Now, what is that your project is all about? So let me say that I'm using a Scrum project. So select it. Then they ask me, what do you want to give the name to the project? Because this is your first look or first time you are visiting this particular instance and you don't have any projects. So if you want, you can create a project here. And later also, if you want, you can add projects to this. Okay, it's not that only one project you can create. You can create multiple projects. But right now, they're asking you to create one project. So let me just name it as StarAgile training. Sorry, I should have given space because I was following some other thing. A lot of softwares, a lot of protocols. Okay, so I'm naming my project as StarAgile training. You can name it as whatever you want. And there will be a key generated by the first letter of each word, like S-A-T, SAT. Okay, if you want, you can further customize it if you want something like star. Okay, so it's up to you. It's just a key, like shortcut, to know that which is your project. And this will be used as a reference for any activity which you do throughout the project. If you create user story, issues like bug, test, everywhere this prefix key will be there to say that it is a star1, star2, star3. So project prefix will be used in the short form. And that's what is key. So if you want, you can have customized key. By default, it will take the first letter of your project name for all the words. So right now I'm just renaming it to star. And then still, if you want, you can change your template here. If you click on this, it will take you to the previous page. You can switch between Scrum or Kanban and again come back to this. Or you can just click on create. Now that's where your account will be and your project will be created. And welcome to Jira. Okay, this is your first look of Jira. So these are the simple steps. Just register yourself, verify your account, invite people if you want to, then select the template of your project type. We will look into other templates, don't worry, okay? I'm not skipping anything. That's the reason I'm highlighting here. We will look into the other templates later, once we have understood everything. And the third thing is, of course, create a project. So once you create the project, you are now inside your Jira instance. Which instance? Cloud instance. You can see your URL here. Please copy this. Okay, please copy this and paste it somewhere, which you will access in day 2, day 3, and after the training as well to refer anything. Without this link, you cannot log in here. Okay, so first you have to copy this link till .NET. Okay, till .NET, and then enter. They will automatically ask you to log in to your instance. All right, so this is your cloud instance ID. So please make a note of this link till .NET and save it somewhere for at least next 2 days. After that, it's up to you. But for the next 2 days, please have this link. And remember your user ID and password. If you forget that, unfortunately, you have to re-register. Okay, so 3 things are important: link, user ID, and password. Now, it's time you should work on these things till here and come to this welcome page. And once all of you are here, we will continue ahead. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, please ask.
Neeraj, one question. So when we logged in with the Gmail, right, it is asking your site name. Can we give any name or anything specific?
I'm so sorry. What do you mean by site name?
Let's get started. Give your site a name. So choose.
Okay. Yeah. They actually figured me out. That page I missed here. So you, like for me, if you see here, I have got team-1610 this, right? So if you want, you can give a customized name instead of that. That is the site name.
Okay.
Okay. All of you, that applies to all of you because you are registering for the first time. For me, they know me very well. Atlassian knows me, this guy is crazy and he creates a lot of fake accounts. So you can have your own custom name for the site as well. So team, please make sure that if you are getting stuck at any point, please don't do unwanted activities there because you will not remember what you did. So if you get stuck, please hold on there, ask me, I'll help you, then continue the process till you get this page. After this, do whatever you want, I can recover you. But before that, I will not know what exactly you did.
Neeraj, Prasanna here.
Yes, please.
It is asking me to answer the quick questions like, okay, what type of team do you work in actually? So then
yes, yeah, that's what. So say like you're working in feature or kind of feature works, and you are new to Jira.
No. Actually, the page is coming like, okay, welcome to Jira software, Prasanna. Answering these quick questions will help us personalizing your experience. Will keep your info safe in accordance with our privacy policy. sales.
Will it be possible for you to share the screen if you don't mind?
Sure,
Yes.
no problem.
Yeah. Just see if you have access.
Host disabled.
I experienced the same.
Okay.
If
Manoj,
you
Manoj, are you here? Manoj? Okay. Yeah. Can you please take a screenshot and drop it on the chat? That you can do.
Sure. I can do that.
Yes. Anyone else had some question there?
I got the same page, but I just skipped it.
Okay. Yeah. Let me look into this. Probably I'm not getting it. If I look into that, I'll get it. What exactly it is. This is the reason I wanted to do a press installation, because I wanted to show you each and every page, but still Atlassian detected me. Oh, not sure again. Can you check on the chat, Prasanna? Do you have an option to share the file?
That's what I'm looking actually. I think
because only host and co-host will have the rights of sharing file.
Yes, I don't have actually.
Okay.
I don't have option of sharing them.
One moment, please. One moment.
Neeraj, it is asking me what type of team do you work in? So, software development.
Yeah, sorry, you were saying about what type of team you're working in. Software development. Yeah, you can say that.
That's what actually asking me as well, Neeraj.
Okay. Got you. You're on that page. Okay, just give me a moment still, because
there are a lot of options like marketing, human resourcing, IT support, finance.
I know.
Yeah, operations. Yeah.
Wait, Manoj is coming here. You'll just give me the host rights, then I can allow you to share files.
Okay.
Manoj, Venu here.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm in the create project page when it asks me to key in project name, which I've given something. And the second option I have is project template. There are two options, Kanban and Scrum. Which one I need to select?
Select Scrum right now. We will later work on Kanban as well.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, you're welcome. Thank you, Manoj. I just made you co-host. Thank you. Okay, Prasanna, I'll make you for the time being as co-host. You can share your screen, and then you can give up the rights of co-host.
Okay.
You'll have a button on share screen, and you can only share a particular window as well.
Safari. Okay. It is taking me to securities and privacy grant access actually. So,
Okay, so again,
yeah.
anyone else can share me that screen, which that question is having? Sylvia, you also had that same thing, right?
Yeah, I just skipped the questions.
Yeah, same here, Neeraj.
Okay, so I'll do one thing. Venu, I'll give you access to this.
No, I'm
Please.
using a different machine. The one which I'm listening to is a
Okay.
different machine.
Sylvia, I'll give you access to that. You are on the same page?
I'm in this. I'm able to navigate. I'm in the final board, whichever you.
Okay. Anyone else on the question page? Okay. Then Prasanna, just take a screenshot and you can share me now. The screenshot at least. You will have next to your chat option, you will have a button called as File. Just click on that and you can share.
I assume the folks can skip that particular option, Neeraj.
Okay, there is a skip option, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, just skip that then. You didn't tell me that before. I didn't remember. If it is skipped, just skip it. Ah, probably. I'm so sorry for that. Okay, then please skip that. That's not a mandatory step. Nothing is mandatory here till you create the project.
Okay, Neeraj. And one more thing, they're asking for the role actually. So Scrum Master, Product Owner,
Again,
something
just
like
put anything, Scrum Master, whatever you want, if you want to do. Anything. Does not make any changes here, okay?
Okay.
I still need to know from you that who are you.
Okay.
Yeah, they basically create a database and then they suggest you any other tools.
Okay. Now we are in the invite your teammates now.
Yeah.
So I can skip.
Yeah, you can skip that.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I got disconnected because of network.
Yes, Praveen. So how far have you done with your registration process?
I am on the page where I have a question. Which of these best describes what you do?
Okay, just fill up anything. A software
right?
developer or something, and then show your role or whatever it is, and just continue. If you want, you can skip as well. That's not mandatory.
Okay. Yeah, now I'm on the screen. That is invite your teammates.
Please carry on. Ignore that. Skip it.
Okay.
One quick question, Neeraj. Venu here.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we are inviting the team members should be of the same team, or if they are from a different company.
Anyone. This is your independent instance. So you just have to mention their Gmail ID or any ID. They will get a link and they can join you. That's it.
Now, with reference to the real-time scenario, if
real-time scenario, of course, you will only write their professional mail ID, right?
No, the professional mail ID. But if I'm a different company or different organization, I have the option to include them.
Yes. It's just email dependent. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So if someone is from a different organization and you have their email ID, you just send them. They can join it.
Okay.
Okay, we have a new joinee with us called as Rahul. Rahul, welcome aboard. Very good morning.
Hi Neeraj, I just joined because
I got
link. I got link just right now away. So just please tell me where to go. Means I just opened the Atlassian site.
Follow me. Just follow me. Go to atlassian.com.
Okay, I got it. Yes.
Okay.
I already there. Then I select the Confluence. Is it that?
No, not Confluence. Not Confluence. On the products, you select Jira software.
Okay, just give me a sec.
On the products menu, You drop down
I
and
select
select
Jira software.
Jira.
Yes, yes, sir.
Then you will get a button, get it for free.
Yes, got it.
Click on that. That they will ask you to register.
Okay.
No, the first page will be like which type of module Jira software you are using. Continue there.
Welcome back, Rahul. Your work email ID, Rahul. This is, and I just need to. It's asking claim your site. That box.
Yeah. Just give them a site name, like anything, which could be like my Rahul workspace or something like that.
Achha.
You just have to create a unique site name.
Okay.
So you have already created an account on Jira already, right?
No. I went to the Confluence page and I just entered that Gmail ID.
Okay. Got it. That's what it would have been identified already. So do I understand that all of you, rest of you, are on the welcome page, like finally the product page?
It's just asking operations, sales, human resources, and all the things.
Yeah, just skip it. You don't need anything there. Wherever you see skip, please skip it.
Okay, fine.
So rest of you can please drop me a chat quickly that you are finally inside the project. Say yes. Just drop me a chat. Okay, that's good. Except Rahul, anyone else is stuck anywhere?
Dheeraj, can you show me the screen, the final screen, the dashboard?
Yeah. This is the page.
Yeah, just to verify mine actually.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I'm not getting the active sprints.
Yeah, exactly. Even I'm not getting active sprints. I'm in the
what you are having?
Roadmap, backlog.
Yeah, to do, in progress, and done. Yeah, and my board is highlighted in the left side. Active
Roadmap.
sprint.
Yeah. Okay.
Roadmap,
You don't
backlog.
have this menu option at all?
I have with the name called board.
Board. Because maybe you used a Kanban template. Is that you use Scrum template?
No, I use the Scrum only.
Don't worry. I got you covered. Don't worry. Even if you don't have that active sprint right now, don't worry. Okay. But you are here, right? On this page, welcome page?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So we just want you to be here. Don't worry. I'll help you out. Because hereafter I can recover you from any situation. Okay, so final call. Is there anyone who is still waiting to be on this page what I'm displaying right now with any options, whatever it is? Rahul, are you done with your process?
Yes, I'm just doing it. I'm into the help us set up your Jira. So I did it. I am experienced. My team is.
Please follow anything. And just use the option as feature. What type of activities do you work in? So go for the feature.
Schedule it ties. Okay, now where to clear? Choose a classic template.
Then select the Scrum one.
Okay.
By default, there will be a Scrum template selected. Just continue with that.
They're asking create project.
Yeah, write a name for a project. I just mentioned it as StarAgile training. You can have it something of your own. So there will be a key generated. If you want, the key can also be customized, like which is a shortcut of the project name.
Okay.
So if you want, you can also change it as per your comfort. But by default, it will take the first letter of each word. and just continue from there again. It will again ask you that if you want to change your template. So please don't click on that. Just click on continue further and you will be here.
So it's created, and I'm showing I'm getting a page. It's look like active sprints and all like that. So
Is that what you're seeing on the screen right now? What I'm sharing?
Yep, the same. Yes.
Okay, just stay there. Okay, this is what we have done so far. Okay, so I assume here that all of you, okay, all of you including me are on this page right now, but some of you don't see active sprint. It's because that you selected a different template by mistake. So that's what mistakes can happen. We are human beings and we are error prone. Okay, so the only mistake what you have done that you have opted for a different template than mine, and that's where you went wrong. But don't worry, you always have an option here to click on project menu and create a new project. So right now, if you want, you can create a new project, but wait for it. Okay, you don't have nothing specific to do right now. You can do it later as well. So this is your first look. So let me give you a navigation first, and then we will have a short break. And then during the break, those who are not getting this option called as active sprint, I would request you to create a new project and please select the templates as Scrum. Okay, you will find your sorted problem. Okay, so please concentrate again on the screen. Leave your instances there and listen to this. The thing what we are going to start with is first the navigation. What is navigation? You should know that what options are here on your screen right now, which is this is your common page, and you will always land up here. Whenever you log in next time, you will always land up on this page itself. So on the top, of course, you have a button called as a kind of grid, which shows you what all products you are using and what other products are available which you are not using. Okay, so whenever you click on this grid option, we get this feature that you have Jira software installed. You are using a Jira software instance and you have administrator access. Why? Because you are the one who created this instance. So by default, you are the administrator. You have other products from Jira. Okay, I would request participants to be on mute. Thank you. And these are the other products which you can actually install if you want to. So that's what I think somebody was asking me that I want to have knowledge about Confluence as well. So you can integrate these things right from here as well with your Jira software. So you will have access to both of them and you can switch between them. Next is, of course, the product which you are using. That logo will be displayed to you always here. And this confirms you which product of Atlassian you're using. If you're using Jira Core, it will show you Jira Core here. If you're using Jira Service Management, it will show you Jira Service Management here. So this part, logo, will confirm you which product of Atlassian you are using right now. Because the look and feel will be quite similar for other variants as well, like Jira Service Desk and Jira Core. So people wonder that some options I don't see because you might be in a Jira software and that option you might have seen in Jira Service Desk. So please confirm it from this point. This place you can confirm which product you are using. Your work will show you always whatever activities you have done so far. So if I click on this, what do I see? I've just created a project and I have a new request for creating any tour or any other projects. So this is my work. So when I start doing a lot of activities, I can see my recent activity, just like Facebook wall, Facebook timeline. Right, timeline shows you your recent friends activities and this, that, and all. Here it will only show you your interaction with this project. Like you created an issue, you updated the status of an issue, or you created a new item. So all your activities, whatever you do, will be shown in your work. Okay, only your work. You cannot see your teammates' work. Second section is to create projects. You can always come here and navigate between multiple projects if you have. Or you can create a new project right from here. You don't have to re-register yourself, create a new instance. This instance is created once for all. And if you want, you can create multiple projects within an instance. And this is the option here to create a project. We will do that. I'll create another project and show you. Then this section will help you to have filters. Once you have a lot of issues, a lot of work items in your project, of course, the filters will help you to filter between them and target only the one which you are interested in. And we will be covering all these options. Okay, I don't want to repeat that statement again and again. So filters, we will be learning about that. The dashboards, again, dashboard shows you indicators. You got the definition of that initially. So dashboards will have multiple, indicators to show. We will be configuring a dashboard and looking at it, that how we can create a dashboard. So here you will have two options. You can create a dashboard or view all dashboards, which you would have created. The section people is to allow people to join. Remember, I skipped adding the people when I was initially asked for. So now after creating the project, if I want to invite people, I can still do that by clicking on invite a teammate or start a team. Now inviting a teammate basically allows team members, and within that I can further create teams as well. For example, I have 10 members in my project. Okay. Now 3 of them are developers, 3 of them are architects, and 4 of them are testers. So I have to further create teams within my instance, that one team is developer, one team is architect, one team is tester, and these 3 teammates are in team 1, these 3 are in team 2, and these 4 are in team 3. So yes, this option will allow you to create 2 things. One is invite members or team members, or create a new team as well. Okay, within your instance, you can have multiple teams and multiple team members. This is the next section, which is called as apps. That is your marketplace. Okay, you can go to marketplace and shop for any kind of plugins. We will be covering this as well, but later. And I will explore more in detail with the definition, understanding and all when I visit each of these options. And of course, this is the main button which you will have, is to create. Create what? Create an issue. Okay, you can create an issue. An issue can be of any type. Click on this and you will see the options here. These are the default issues. Okay, or we call it as, in Agile, we call it as work item. Okay, work item. We have 4 types of work item as of now. As of now, I precisely insist on that word because we can always change it. If we want, we can add more. If we want, we can change the names. We have story, task, bug, epic. Okay, these are the 4 things which we have got based on the template which you selected. This issue type list is completely dependent on your template which you have selected. If you have selected something else, you would have a different list of items. For example, if you select a service desk project or service management project, then you will only have 2 work item types, task and subtask. If I have selected Scrum, I'll have these 4. So my project is Scrum template. So I'm getting these 4. But remember why I'm saying as of now, because we can always add more and we can customize the Jira instance. So this is, of course, to write all the issues, and we have the author details. We will see that later. So this is the create button to create any work item type or issues in Jira project. Now, how to go back to our page? Just go to the project and click on your project which you have created. And again, you will land up the same page where you started. So by default, it will take you to active sprint. Why? Because all of you know about Scrum. I'm not sure if anyone here, somebody said you're working on service or desk management. So Agile is basically a methodology for software development process. Okay, it helps you to develop the project and create the work, and of course, manage the entire project from time to time. So active sprint is one of the part of it, where we basically manage certain tasks or process certain tasks within a particular sprint. And sprint is basically a simple iteration or a duration of probably 2 to 4 weeks of time, which will determine what exactly you will be delivering at the end of the sprints. These are short cycles, unlike traditional approaches, because traditionally you work all together for probably 6 to 9 months of time and then deliver the entire product in one go. But in Agile, you deliver products in short deliverables, like simple forms. So you work on 2-week sprint and deliver something to the customer. And basically you show them that this is what we have done. Is it as per your requirement or it's going somewhere else? So customers will have a frequent review on these things, whatever you're doing every sprint. So they will say that, yes, it's correct and please proceed like this. Or customer will also get an idea that how things are being built up. If they need any changes, they will be letting you know that we would like to modify this to like this. So these kind of things happen in Agile. So a sprint is one of that. Okay. Now, what do you see here? First of all, you see a star board. The star is my keyword of my project. Okay. I just customize it to star. So for you, it will be according to your project key, that board will be displayed to you. Now here you see that I have got a board. I click on this. What happens? You are right now on the star board itself. Star board. Board is basically taken from Kanban. Kanban was another approach to be used within Agile, which allowed you to manage your activities on a physical board, to be frank, on a physical board, which had all the activities in multiple columns. What are the columns? To do, in progress, and done. To do means the tasks are yet to be started, or somebody should work on it. Nobody has started working on it. In progress means this task is in progress, or someone in your team is working on that, or probably you are working on that, and the task is in progress. Done means it is completed and it has met the objective, whatever it was supposed to meet. Now, if you want, you can even customize these columns and have some more columns within your boards. So it's up to you. If you think you want to have another column like in testing or in review, then done. Then of course you can customize it because Jira is a customizable tool. Roadmap. Roadmap will show you your basic plan, that what is that you have planned for your overall project. So when you have an epic, epic is basically the main important part of your project, which is the parent requirement. Then epic has user stories, and user stories are further broken down into tasks. Again, these are basic things which you should have known already. So I'm not going to insist in detail. So when you create an epic, you have got a plan with you. When you create sprints, you will see those progress happening in the planner here. So as of now, we don't have anything. That's the reason it is just showing me an orange bar on the date today, that is 9/1/2021. That's it. So as this bar will progress, and you will have a lot of things coming here, okay, as you create. So don't worry, as we create something, we will come back time to time here and I'll show you the progress. Backlog. There are two types of backlog which we have in Agile. One is product backlog, second is sprint backlog. Initially, when a user story is broken down into tasks, all your tasks will be into product backlog, where you have everything being listed. Now, you pick up certain tasks from the product backlog and put it in the sprint backlog. Why? Because these tasks should be decided and planned that what exactly you will be doing in a particular sprint. So when you pick up certain tasks from the product backlog to be processed in a particular sprint, you call it as sprint backlog. That's it. Now, if anything is undone during a particular sprint, it will stay there and rest new task will come back and join the sprint backlog. So that's the story between product backlog and sprint backlog. And that's the reason you call it as a backlog. What do you mean by backlog? Something you wanted to complete, but you could not complete. Just like your engineering or graduation, you had subjects, probably, I'm not sure how many of you had backlogs. I had one, of course. So you had 6 subjects to pass in a semester, and probably you passed 5 and one you failed. So you used to call it as a backlog. Why you used to call it as a backlog? Because your target was to clear 6 subjects in this semester, but you only cleared 5 of them. So 1 is in your backlog, and this goes to the next semester, 6 plus 1. Okay, so the same way here, the logic is followed, that you have product backlog where all your activities will be lying. You only pick what you will process in a particular sprint backlog. If anything remains undone, it will stay there, and new task for the next sprint will join him along with the previous pending. Okay. Then active sprint will definitely show you the sprints which is going on right now. We will be creating them, so don't worry. A lot of these buttons are disabled right now because we have not done anything yet. Reports section will take you to the reports, and you can see what reports are available here in the Jira. And this is not all, okay? Because if you want, you can always install a new app which is going to add more reports to you in order to generate them, okay? These are some of the things which are available by default. You can always add more to this from the marketplace, that is apps. So to go back, you will have a button on the top automatically. When you switch to the window like this, you will have a button here, back to the project. So you will come back here. Then issues. This section will allow you to manage the issues. Okay. If somebody asks you, where do you do issue management in Jira? You say this button, issue button. Just click on that. You will have the complete access to manage the entire issue. You will have filter options on the top and then export issues or go to advanced search. Advanced search will take you to JQL, Jira Query Language. And all these options, we'll be doing that later when we come to the issue management. Back to project. What is component? Certain components are created as a part of your project. For example, a feature. Okay, so task is an activity which you generally create in the Agile projects. Like task is to create login page. Now, login page is to create is the task. It's an activity. But what is the component? Component is login. Or you can say that it's a feature. Sometimes you might have component different than the activity. For example, activity is that when a user logs in for the first time, he should see the first item as his home page. This is the activity which you have to enable using the architecture or development of the code or anything, probably the test case. But which feature it is associated with? Login. So component will be login, and there might be different tasks associated with login. One is the user ID password. Second is the the landing page. Third will be like what kind of access he will have on this page. What kind of messages he should have on this page. So we may have different tasks related to one single component, that is login. Similarly, there might be different components, and whenever you create tasks, you can link these tasks to that particular component. So we will create few components here, and we will associate our task to that particular component to showcase that this is what you do in real time. Code. Of course, the developers will be managing their code using this particular Jira as well, but not basically Jira. Jira is not a code management tool or code review tool or something like that. You definitely have your code in a different option like GitHub, Bitbucket, and all those kind of things, right? So you can integrate your instance or GitHub path to the Jira account, this particular instance. Okay, so you can just click on this, connect to Bitbucket or connect to GitHub Lab, and then you can link that to Jira. So you can see your code progress right here within Jira itself. You don't have to always switch to a different window or go to the GitHub link and see what progress has happened, what merge has happened, what integration has happened. You can directly see everything right within the Jira if you connect your account. Just like when you connect any other add-on to your browser, like browser generally have add-ons on the top, right? So you don't have to go to that window. If anything happens, you will have an add-on. For example, Google Chrome can have Facebook or any other software's add-on on them. So you don't have to go to that Facebook every time. You will see notifications on Google Chrome itself. So those are the same thing here. You can integrate your Bitbucket, GitHub, and any other resource which you're using to manage your code. And you can see the direct updates happening right here within the Jira interface. Releases. Again, somebody prompted me during the first half that how exactly I manage releases and all. So this is the section where you will manage your releases. And of course, everything will be under the release. What is a release? Release is defined as a version of the software. For example, I'm creating a software and it has a release 1.0. Now, release 1.0 is a version of this product. And everything what you do, like sprint, task, progressing, test, management, whatever, is specific to that release 1.0. You may have multiple releases like 1.0, 1.2, 1.4. So you need to tap your activities that if I'm testing this particular piece of code, which release is it associated with? Like it might be a future release, but I'm doing it right now. Or it might be a current release. I have to do it right now. So you have to associate any activity to that particular release which you're going to do. And of course, this is your Confluence part, project pages, but it is inbuilt. This is not exactly Confluence, but you may have some basic documentation if you don't want to use a different product called as Confluence. Because of course you can have Confluence, but that's a different product from Atlassian. But what if you have minimal documentation? Because Confluence is also licensed. Your organization has to pay to have Confluence. But you say that my expectations are minimal documentation, and probably I don't need all that feature which Confluence gives me, and I have to pay that amount. So you can have an internal documentation here within Jira software instance itself. Okay, within Jira software, you will have something called as project pages, and you can have, you can use the templates like blank pages, product requirement, decision, meeting notes, retrospectives. Do you see that? This is what your Confluence will do, but with more better options, more customization. But without customization, if you just want to use these standard templates, you can do it right here without using Confluence. So Atlassian basically wants to give you all kind of freedom that even if you're just using software, that is Jira software, then I should give you at least that access that you should say, oh no, he's forcing me to buy Confluence. User should not say that they are forcing me to buy this product. No, I give you a feature here. If you are happy with that, please continue using this. But if you think, no, you need something more, then go for Confluence. You can pay for it because you need something more. But you don't need anything more, you can be restricted to this. Add item. If you want to add anything else from an external resource or within internally, but link to this particular project, you can use these options called as add an item to this project, a shortcut to frequently used resource like probably Wikipedia or maybe anything within your organization which you are using cannot be integrated to Jira, then you can have a shortcut here. Second, you can have a repository like Bitbucket, GitHub. You can just link it here. So user has to just come here and click on it and navigate to that. And pages, just like Confluence pages. So these are the few things which you will be working on. Okay, I'm not just saying you things. We will be having a look on these things practically. And of course, the last thing is project settings, which is project administrator settings. That being an administrator of project, okay, don't confuse yourself with Jira administrator. Jira administrator is the admin of the entire software, entire tool. Project administrator is the administrator of only that particular project. Okay, so within project, we have an admin, and Jira admin is for the entire Jira. Okay, so this person will have access to certain things. For example, changing the name of the project, changing the URL of the product or project type and other description and all. Who is the project lead? Things can change about a project. So this will be completely restricted to the project. Plus, not only this, you can change people, you can do automation, you can have summary of the project, issue types, issue layout, workflow, screen, field, code. This is your customization option. Okay, so we will have a look on this as well. Okay, on probably day 3. Day 3, you will have all these access. All right, so this is your quick navigation about the Jira project view. Last but not the least, here is your user account. You can change your personal settings. You can change your profile details or account settings or log out at any point of time. Plus, there is a cog wheel here called as settings, which are specific to cloud instances. Of course, this is not complete end-to-end Jira admin access. Okay, if you are thinking to be a Jira administrator tomorrow, this is not all the options or all the features what you have as an administrator. Don't forget, you are using a cloud instance right now. All the features are only available in a server instance. Okay, so if you want to learn everything about administrator, probably in the next training, you can enroll yourself for administration session and you can learn about Jira server instance that time. Then you will not use cloud because server will give you end-to-end customization of the tool. But yes, you have some of the features here which you can customize being a cloud administrator of Jira. Okay, so are we clear with the navigation? And this is your quick start. Anytime you want a, information or kind of, a tour of the tool, you can use that. But don't worry, this is what you're doing the training for. I'm going to help you with everything. Any questions at this point of time, team?
No, Neeraj.
No, Neeraj.
Okay.
Neeraj, for project pages, it has any limitation of size, like in GB or so KB something, or we can create?
Exactly. It's not just the pages. It's basically the overall instance which you have created on cloud right now. So remember, I've shown you that it has limitation of 2 GB. So inclusive of everything, the task and the bugs, everything, whatever you create, attachments which you add, put together, including the pages, all together, everything should not exceed 2 GB for a cloud instance. But server, it is completely on your server space.
Okay.
Anything else, team? Yeah, one by one, please.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, ladies first, he said.
Okay, Neeraj. The dots which we see at the top bar.
Yeah, great. This one.
Yeah. So in that I see Confluence, because I selected Confluence. I don't see the other options of yours coming up on my screen. So will that be a problem?
No, it's not a problem. It's probably basically a simple setting which might be missing it. Probably maybe when you log in next time, you will see that.
Okay, no, because that time I selected both the options while creating this account though. However, only this Confluence came up, this Jira service management didn't turn up.
Okay. Maybe I have to give it a look to your instance, but just wait till tomorrow or maybe the next login. You should have all these things. This is populated by them. We don't have to do anything to show this. We don't have a setting. This is populated by
much difference, right?
Nothing, no difference. So it's just said, can you see it says discover? That means they are promoting this part. So it's up to them what they are promoting here.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the 2 GB limitation, right? When it's going to be exhausted, any notification kind of stuff will be appear for the user.
You will get a message on the top, like a top bar will be created, and it will say that you have already utilized all your limitation. So now go for buying a license to increase the space.
Okay. Otherwise, go for a new project.
Yes. But we won't be reaching that limit probably, to be frank. At least if you have 3-4 projects and you're doing it full-fledged also. Depending on the attachment size, it will completely depend on the. Otherwise, data is KBs. Probably bits as well.
Exactly.
So
that's why attachments matters. That's it.
Yeah, attachment and pages will matter mainly to reach that limit. Otherwise, you are fine to use it. Anything else, team? Okay. So good, very good interactive session. Thank you so much for making it, contributing your effort on that, because of course it is completely designed for you. Then it should meet your expectations at the end of the day. So do not hesitate, just feel free and let me know whatever comes to your mind. Because here, when you talk about a training, it is all about learning. So nothing is called as a silly question or stupid question. You just have a question, that's it. And feel free to share that. All right, this time I think we have already extended. We were supposed to take a break at 11, but this is 10 past 11 for me. And we will be taking, let's go even. We will take a break of 20 minutes and we will resume our session at 11:30. So just resume that. And don't worry about your system on sleep or something. If your system goes on sleep during this time, don't worry, your instance will be safe. You don't have to do anything. You just have to come back, wake up your machine and you start using that. Okay, so right now it's 11 past 11 for me, and we will resume the session at 11:30. So another 19 minutes. You can relax, refresh, grab some coffee or tea, but be back at 11:30. Thank you, team. See you after the break.
Thank you.
Hello team, and welcome back after the break. We will just quickly get started and continue with our learnings. Okay, any quick questions before continuing with our agenda? Okay, so again, whenever I'm demonstrating something right from here, please have a complete concentration on here. You definitely have study material with you, which is going to have everything what you need to reproduce these activities. So probably you don't have to write a detailed documentation for anything what you are learning here. Plus, you will also have recorded sessions of these training with you. So you don't have to worry about that as well. But yeah, making a quick notes to just practice yourself after the demonstration. You can actually make some quick notes, a simple, one-liners or something. But make sure that you have complete attention and understanding here, because that's the way you learn better. And then when you do it yourself again, you get confidence on the same. So we will be getting started with simple activities first, and then getting into the complicated things. Probably not so complicated, but of course, we need to have certain material because our project is completely empty right now, and we do not have anything to have a look on. So the very first activity within this Jira project, what we are doing right now is to create the project. Of course, we created a project, that's why we are here right now. But still, what is a general process? That was a part of your instance creation where they asked you to create the project. But within the project, if you're already having a project, what if you want to create another project? Then of course, how to create that. So you can always navigate to the projects menu and just drop down. You will see what are your projects already created. So right now I have one project which is already created called as StarAgile training. And the key of this project is Star. Now again, during the registration process, I have told you that we always have a key for a particular project name. The reason is when we have multiple projects and there are different activities in each of the project, then maybe you are assigned with multiple projects and you have multiple activities with you. Then it will become complications to filter out when you look at an activity name. That is a task name. So task name will always be prefixed with the key of the project. Like for example, star in my reference. So this will help you, the key will help you to filter out if you look at any task that this task is from which project. Okay. So when you are assigned with a lot of activities from different projects, these key will help you to filter out or let you know that this task is from this project. So that's where key plays a vital role. And they cannot write everywhere the full project name. So we can always have a short name for the project as a key. So first thing which we will show you is to see what are the projects which you are working on or associated with. Remember team, in real-time environment, you will be using Jira server instance, not a cloud instance, because organizations do not prefer to use cloud instance because of its limitation, that it can only have 10 users, it can only store up to 2 GB of data, and many other customization restrictions. So in organizations, if you have Jira, of course, they will completely be using a server instance, right? So server instance will have more options, and the administrator will create the account for you. You don't have to create the account, but knowing that is actually important, that how exactly a project is created. So the second option is view all the projects which you might be associated with. So don't forget that right now, whatever you're going to learn for the 3 days, you are learning as a Jira user. You're not learning Jira administrator. Administrator is a different component of Jira and you have a different training for that. But yes, I'll be telling you a few of the things from there as well in this training, but I will highlight that this is Jira admin. Okay, right now, whatever you're going to learn as a Jira user. So how do you create project? So you can click on this button here, create project, and it will again take you to a new window called as choose project type. Now we have two different variants recently added. One is the classic project and second is next gen project. Next gen project is slightly different than classic templates. That means it has some of the features, but restricted to some of the components. So classic is the best opted even today, but some of the organization may not want to use everything. For example, card layout or reports, as parallel sprints if you want to run. Then next gen project is just for a quick team or simple teams who just want to manage some of the activities, but probably do not want to run a full-fledged project. So it has some of these crosses. Can you see? So these crosses are basically the limitations of a next gen project. The name says next generation, but it's actually limited to certain activities. Quick project can be using this template. So I will show you this later, maybe on day 3. Just a quick overview that how exactly next generation template is different from other templates. But for right now, for our training, our concentration is on the classic, okay, because it has everything there, and we would prefer to learn as much as possible. So click on select classic or select next gen, depending on your need. And it will again ask you the same thing, that write a name for this. For example, let me name it as testing in nutshell. Okay, the key is automatically created, TIN, which is the first character of each word. And this is the key which can be customized. If you want, you can change it. And then comes the template. So what templates do I have? Right now, it is selected by default as Scrum. If I want to change template, I can click on change template, and it will show me 3 templates right now. That is Kanban, Scrum, and bug tracking. So those who had an issue and reported me that you don't see active sprint, please select the Scrum as the template, because probably you would have gone to Kanban by default, or maybe you have created a next gen project. Okay, so please select the Scrum here and click on select. So now it will be selecting the Scrum. We will see the other templates, don't worry, and click on create. That's it. These are just a small thing to create a new project. Now you see that I'm in a new project, testing in nutshell. But now if I come to my project section, I will see 2 projects, because as I have created them, I have access to both of the project. But in real time in your organization, the admin will associate you to that particular project. Okay, admin will create that, and then he will add you to that project to associate you to that project. Otherwise, you on your own cannot assign yourself to a particular project, or probably even if you will not have the rights to create a new project. Okay. So this is one thing which we wanted to understand here, that how do you see or how do you create a new project, and what's the different templates which are available. How templates are dependent for project? They show you the workflow and the issue types, 2 major things. Okay, issue types and the workflow will be different on different templates. So again, depending on the need of your organization, type of the project, and the methodology which you follow, you can definitely have this. But still, it is not restricted to what you are going to see in any template. If you want, you can further customize the workflow and issue types as per your organization needs. That's where we said that which agile methodology does Jira follow? It follows anything, be it Scrum, Kanban, Next Gen, or mixed approach, scaled agile, because Jira is customizable. You can take any template to start with, and then you can, Jira administrator can customize it completely as per the organization specific needs. Okay, so now is everyone clear with how to create the project? You can just give it a quick try. I'll give you 5 to 10 minutes of time. Please create a new project and see that you are comfortable. And the other 2 people who reported me that you don't see active screen, please select the Scrum template this time and create a new project.
In this break actually.
Neeraj?
Yes, please.
Yes, when I go to create project, it gives me a Kanban option down. When I say change template, I don't see Scrum coming up. I see project management, task tracking, process control coming up.
Is it software here or business?
It says business.
So
please switch it. Just switch it to software. Drop down here and switch it to software.
Correct. Okay, so now I see Scrum.
So you do have business option here, and this is what you see.
Right.
So this
what's
is what
the difference, Neeraj? Business, software, and service project?
See, of course, the only difference is from the management point of view and the development, core development point of view. So if you're talking about particularly developing a software and you are using Jira to do that activity, you go for software. but their Jira provides solutions to everyone. For example, even the project management, task tracking, process control, content management, recruitment for HRs as well. So they can have their own project types within Jira. So Jira is, say, for example, one organization, one tool. That is their motto. So you just buy Jira and give all your teams Jira access, and they can manage specific to their work, their own projects.
Okay. Neeraj, should I select the next gen?
No, that we will do later. Right now,
okay.
just be limited to what I'm telling you right now. That we will see in the upcoming sessions.
Okay, so I will proceed with select classic.
Only Scrum right now. Yeah, just proceed with Scrum right now. I'll tell you the difference later.
Neeraj, what about changing the name of the project? Is it possible? Once we create a project, we'll be able to edit the name?
Yes, you will be able to edit the name, but it's not recommended.
Scrum Master or someone, if at all they're having admin access, they can create the projects, right?
Exactly.
Okay, and they can add even their team members also.
They can do everything, yes.
Just like in the cloud, however we have.
Basically, you will have the project admin rights. So
yeah, okay.
Being a project administrator, you have the rights to control your particular project.
Okay.
Yeah. For others, like control workflows and issue types and all, you have to contact Jira administrator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Adding users means it will be just drive through their mail IDs only, right? Or some other.
That's it. No, there are two ways to do that. One is to create the user account, which Jira admin can do. And second is invitation, which you send and they will register and they will just join your team. Yeah.
Do we anytime face any data loss issue with the Jira, Neeraj?
Not yet. They are not in news.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, in fact, they're recommending change by 2024 to completely to their data centers. You will not have your physical servers to be used. They are probably like this is what they have announced, that in 2024 they are completely migrating everything to data centers. So that means you don't have to secure anything within your premises. That security they're providing. Yeah. So do I get that all of you are done with creating the project? Anyone still working on the project?
I'm done.
Okay, please complete that.
I'm done, Neeraj.
Okay, do one thing. Whenever you are done, please drop me a done message on the chat, because that would be enough for me. Because now and then we will be doing a lot of hands-on activities, so would need your confirmation. Okay. All right. So I think most of these are just right now. It is simple activities. We'll do very small activities, okay? Because we will not create big things and then wonder what we did that time. So we will do very small things so that it is easy to understand and at the same time easy to implement. Okay, next quick thing which I'm telling you is how to add people, how to add your teammates after you have created a project. So while of course
Before
creating
that,
the instance, sorry.
Before that, I have one question about the project.
Please.
Yeah, when we create the project, is there any way that we can map that with the roadmap? So when we are doing the changes in our project, it will get implemented or it will get updated with the roadmap. Is there anything like that?
So it automatically goes with the roadmap. So,
okay, so now,
for example, if you have a roadmap here, so right now, can you see what needs to be done? So there is something which is automatically created here that you have started working on this. So these kind of things can be seen. Subjected you have created an epic and issues, then this progress will be automatically tagged. So those kind of things, you don't have to do manually anything. It will automatically pick up the roadmap which is associated with it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So the next important thing is how to add people. Of course, very simple step. Just come to the people menu here at this item. You have two options: invite a teammate and start a team. The reason is because right now you are working it as a Jira user. Again, I'm highlighting each activity that which is Jira user or which will be Jira admin in real instance. This we are using cloud instance team because you will have access to everything to learn. But in real Jira server instance, you cannot do it right now. So invite a teammate will allow you to write the email ID, just like go to invite and just click here and type the email ID like james@xyz.com. Now this mail ID can be anything. That means that he might be from your organization. He might be your friend. For example, if you're working on a freelancing project on your back home, then you can invite your friend to join your team, or it can be anyone from other organization. It just completely depends on the email ID. You just have to invite him. He may be anyone from anywhere. Okay, and just click on invite. Yes.
Sorry, actually, I'm seeing only start team.
Oh, sorry. Thank you for informing me that.
I'm only start team I can see.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I get it. Because generally what happens in Jira, when there's a pop-up, it generally does not show if I'm sharing an application. So I should share my screen to show you the pop-ups. Okay, so let me go with this. All right, now if I click on people, click on invite mates. Now, do you see this pop-up? Yeah. So,
but the treatment teammates itself is not coming up.
No, I can't see anything.
Under people option, we
only
don't
start
invite teammates.
Only start team is there.
Only start team is there.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm able to see Neeraj. I got both the options. Invite teammate.
Not sure what went wrong because this should be okay. Not sure because there are no settings as of now. Everyone should be able to see that. Where it could have gone wrong. Okay, is there anyone who is facing this challenge? Can just tell me who's that?
Vishwanath.
Me also.
I'm also
facing the same issue.
Okay, just one of you can share me that. So Vishwanath, I'm just giving you access as a co-host. Okay. Please share your screen.
Yeah, I'm able to see.
Yeah, it's getting loaded. Just a moment.
Network is very slow. Maybe.
No, I can see that now. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's only start team is there. I think is it like in the initial setup itself we haven't given.
No, I didn't invite anything.
Okay.
Neeraj, how about clicking on search people and teams? There you'll get a sub option saying add people at the rightmost corner of the page.
Click on that, search people.
Click on that. rightmost corner, you should an option saying add people.
Yes, we do see the option.
Click on add people. That's how I've seen.
Yeah, click on add people there.
And it will ask you whether you need to add from the Google account.
Yeah, that's correct.
Add more invitation. Add more invitations, right?
Are you sure your template is Scrum itself?
Yeah. It's Scrum only.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
because this is a different option. That's true, but you should see it on the top in the menu itself. Anyways, there's an alternative. I was wondering like why you didn't see that on the top.
Okay,
anyway,
through the okay.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
It could be a browser issue also.
Probably, yeah, that's what. I think you're using IE or something, but browser has no dependency.
Firefox I'm using. Why it should not browser?
No, browser is not a dependency.
It's compatible, right? For everything.
Compatible, yes, it is. Anyways, okay, fine. So I think other people got that provision. If you want to add people right now, for the time being, this is what we are trying to learn, right? And in fact, with you, I do also learn something new. That what could be the reason behind this. Anyways, I'll explore this. So you should have your two options. One is to invite. This option is to invite people to join your project, and you can enter up to 10 email addresses because you will have only limitation to 10 people. And once you have invited people to your team, then the second option is start a team. So now, of course, within the project, you have multiple teams like development architects and testers and all. So you can further collaborate them or collectively put them in one particular team. So let's click on start a team and write a team name, for example, developers. And you can still invite people because now it is saying not the email ID. Can you see that? It says invite people to your team @mention. So @James, whatever the user ID of that person will be displayed here. And you just have to click him and add him to the developers team. So team can be started only after you have added the person to your project. You have already invited and he has joined. If in case he has not joined, you cannot invite him to a team. Okay, please remember this activity and control flow. That first a person has to be a Jira user. If he is a Jira user, then only you can include him in a team. If he has not yet joined Jira or he doesn't have a Jira account, he cannot be a part of your team. What is the difference between a user and a team? Of course, user is just a user. He can be a part of any other project as well. But within your project, he has to be collectively called as a particular team. Then you start making use of a team. Okay. Otherwise, you can have just a generic project as well, where you have 10 people who are working on this. To be frank, when you talk about Agiles, we say that they are not specific roles. There are no specific roles or designations in a development team. We just put them together, call it as development team, and everyone is equally designated. But of course, they have different responsibilities. So based on the responsibilities, you can call them a team within your project. And just click on start team to be called as a team. All right. So people will give you these two options, that is invite teammate and start a team. And of course, you do have the search option, which you just went through, which will allow you to okay, so these are the things which are happening as a part of the people. Okay, so this is very straightforward thing. You just have to add it, but probably you don't have users to include into your project right now. So you can just have some of the practices there. The next important thing, which we are
sorry to interrupt. So the access by default, the team will be having editor access, is it? Or can I restrict whether read only or access? Is it possible when I create a team?
Okay, so again, that will all be done by the administrator. Okay, right now in cloud instance of this version, they will have by default access to everything.
Okay.
Okay, read and write. But when you work in a real instance, that is server instance, the Jira admin can control who will have the access to read, who will have the access of read and write and delete.
Okay.
We have something called as groups and permissions. Okay, groups can be your teams and further rights can be given to specific groups. and permissions can be defined for specific groups.
Okay, Neeraj, thank you.
Sure, you're welcome. All right, so the next thing, which is the very important thing in Jira project, is to create issues. So please again listen to this, and of course creating issues is not a difficult job, but of course understand each and every concept about creating an issue. First of all, an issue is a generic word which is used in Jira, because Jira started this tool, or this Jira was created with the motive of issue management. That's the reason most of the people still say that Jira is an issue management tool, right? But right now, as on today, that is 9/1/2021, this tool is just not alone issue management tool, because it helps you to manage your support projects, development projects, business prospects, project planning and tracking, estimation, lot many other things, right? So it is no longer just called as a issue management tool, but still this button basically is called as create an issue. But issue can be of different types depending on the type of project. Again, please remember these words, okay? This is what will make you proper understand. So issue types can be different depending on the project type. If you have selected a project type as Scrum, you will have some list of issue types. If you have selected as a support or service desk management, then you will have different types of issues like task and subtask, only 2 issue types. So depending on the template and the project type which you have created, your issue types will be shown by default. Otherwise, you're always free to add more issue types, customize the name of the issue types, and make use of that in your project. That will be done by the Jira administrator. Okay, so right now we will have access to only those issues which are given to us by the template. So now if I see, I've got 4 issue types. In Agile, we call them as work items. Okay, in Agile, we call it as work item. That is story, task, bug, and epic. We are getting these things because we have selected Scrum. If you have selected Kanban, you will have different outcomes or different issue types. Probably those who created some other projects earlier, before creating the second project, you can switch between that project and go to the issue types, and you can see that there will be different issue types there. Okay, but as we are working on Agile and we are trying to understand more about that using Jira, so we have these 4 issue types. But remember, you can always add more by using Jira Administrator Access. Now, of course, you know the definition of each one of this. You know what is a story, you know what is a task, you know what is an epic, and you know what is a bug. All you have to do is just select the right option here, what you want to create, and you can start writing the details about this. Plus, before we do any kind of issue creation, we have to start with something called as release. Let's follow the hierarchy. Okay, let's follow the hierarchy as well, which will tell you that what is the proper way and best practices to work within a Jira project. So the very first step to start creating is, of course, creating project and adding people to the project. The second thing is to create a release. To create a release, you have to navigate on the left panel and come to the release section. And you will have a button here called as create version, because release is defined as a version of the software. So click on create version, and it will just ask you a few things called as the name. So say release V1, and you have to define a start date, because always release has a schedule. So say 9, starting date today, and probably let me give it as 30. I'm just using a template data, right? Dummy data, that's it, okay? Because we are not implementing a real project here, okay? And you can define a description that we are delivering certain things, you know, whatever it is all about. So you can just write a proper description so that you can differentiate between multiple releases. That's it. So description will be very important for anything what you do here, because that will create a lot of understanding for the people working in your project. Description will help them to differentiate between 2 different tasks or 2 different user stories or different epics or even releases. Anything what you create will have description. So make sure that your description is relevant. Click on save. That's it. And your first release is created. And right now the status is unreleased because you have a release date Jan 30. And right now you will working on it as of today. Now the button of creating a version will move on the right top, so that in future, if you want to create a next version of the software, you can come here and click on the create version, and you can create a V2 of that. Now, that's the first point, that is to start with release. The next thing is to create epics. To create epics, you should be in the backlog. Okay, so you should switch to backlog option in the left panel, and here you will see your versions. You can still create a version right from here without navigating to releases, but you should know what are each tab for. So that's the reason I opted for release. But you can also create a release right from backlog window. So right now, this backlog is your product backlog. I repeat, the backlog which you are accessing from the left panel is the product backlog. Okay, and here you will have provisions to create version as well as epic. So let's click on epic on this left panel here, and you will have a button here called as create epic. So let's create an epic, and can you see that it is taking me back to the create issue window, right? And it is automatically selecting the issue type as epic. So give me a name there. For example, I'm creating say daily hunt. I hope maybe you will be knowing this app. So daily hunt is my entire application, or probably let me just mark it as entertainment news. Entertainment news. So this is one of the epic for me for the daily hunt news item. Okay, daily hunt app. So entertainment news is one of my epic there, and summary is to provide various components of entertainment news. Okay. That's it. So just provide, because this is only limited right now because you're creating from a different window, from a backlog. But when you go to create option and then select epic, you will have more details. So that we will see how to edit an existing epic. All right, so just click on create. Now you're done with two things, creating a release and creating an epic. Can you see this here? This is the product code, the key. The key will tell you that this item belongs to this particular project. Okay, so two things are done now. We have created a release, we have created an epic. Now we can start working on creating an issues, but before that, you can create a sprint as well. So this is up to you. First, you create the issues in the product backlog, and then go ahead with the sprint, and then import the issues to the sprint, and then start the sprint. Or you can also create the sprints and then create issues and then import them to that. So this is interchangeable. That you first create issues, then create sprint, and import the issues to sprint. Or create the sprint, create the issues, and then import the issues to the sprint. This can be in any order. Okay, that's not a particular flow to be followed there. You can have it in any.
Neeraj, do we have any concept of feature in Jira? Like in Rally, we have like epics initiatives, and then which are very huge efforts, like 20 staff months or something. And then under that, we'll be having smaller feature, and feature will be having.
Here we have it as component.
Okay.
Yeah, here we do have it, but we call it as components.
Okay.
Okay, we will come to that. So at any point of time, if you want, you can just close these tabs. It will again go and shrink and sit here on the right panel to just get a better spacious, canvas on the screen to work on it. But at any point, if you click on this, it will just create a tab, and again, click on epics, you will have a tab. Anytime you can just close it. This does not mean that you're deleting this tab. You're just hiding it. Okay. There are a lot of things associated with this epic. Can you see that? What number of issues, how many are completed, how many are unestimated, and what is the estimate. So we will work on this a little later. So now, next thing we will do is we will create a sprint. We'll just create a sprint and name this sprint as sprint 1, which is by default picked up. If you want, you can definitely modify that. And now you see two backlogs here. Okay. So earlier, without this sprint, it was only product backlog, this one. Right now, you see two of them. This is your product backlog, and the above one is your sprint backlog. Okay, so these are two sections right now created as soon as you created a new sprint. So we have done 3 activities right now. We have created a release, we have created an epic, and we have created a sprint. Okay, we have created a sprint. Now the next thing is to start the sprint, but it is disabled. Why? Sprint cannot be started because it contains no issues. So of course, without the issues, Jira will not let you start a sprint. Why? Because you are following a template. And this is the reason they ask you to select a proper template, because certain things are not in your control. It is created by the template. So Scrum has decided that the start sprint only happens when you have some issues in that. So I cannot let you start this, and this cannot be controlled. This cannot be controlled because this is from the architecture of the methodology, that you should only start a sprint when you have some issues listed in the sprint backlog. Okay, so now we have done 3 activities. Please complete this. Then we will start creating these issues and we will see the details of issues. So create a release, create an epic, and create a sprint. So creating sprint is simple. Just click on the button. That's it. When you're done, just drop me a message.
Neeraj, the last activity which we did was inviting people, right? So it's after that. Okay. Neeraj, can you please help me here? I just created a release, and after release, what is the next step?
Next is creating an epic. So please go to backlog on the left panel and click on epic and create an epic.
You create a version, it will show up in backlog only, right, Neeraj?
Yes, exactly. So you can do everything from backlog only, but just wanted to show you the menu option that releases is for what. So they have separate actions. That's it. But you can do it from either way. You can do it from backlog or releases.
Thank you.
Because in backlog, you cannot manage your releases. So that's the reason they have a separate window to manage releases.
Yeah, actually, that release button has been enabled for me. I mean, in the releases after creation of master template, enabled. I mean, in the blue highlight, and yeah, if you click on that, yeah, release one.
Yeah, that is enabled. That will be fine because to see the details of the releases.
Yeah, right side, release is there. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's what. This is for manual release. For example, what if you're done before that? Then you can click on release.
Okay. I mean, for moving to production or something like that, right?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Yeah, Neeraj, once I have created release, after that I need to go to issue, isn't it, to create epic?
No, backlog.
Backlog.
Yeah, go to backlog. There will be small 2 horizontal buttons here, epics and versions. So click on epics.
Neeraj, whatever we are doing now for under that project, under that backlog, we are creating the releases and the epics. I mean, multiple releases also we can.
Of course, within the project, you can have multiple releases.
Yeah. Okay. And through the backlog only we are creating, right? That's why just I'm asking. Multiple versions.
See, okay, again, listen to this carefully. Versions can be created from backlog, okay?
Right.
But generally, you manage your releases from using the release option, because here it will only show you the details of the releases, like what happened on this. That you cannot see in backlog. But you can create a release from backlog, but you cannot manage a release from backlog. Okay.
Neeraj, can you please navigate to the backlog tab?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, but I don't see this on my screen.
What do you see?
Okay. Okay, I just created the epic now, and I want to understand how. See, I created a release and I created the epic. Now, how will I get to know that if this epic is related to this release?
That's that we have not done yet.
Okay.
You will only see them as two independent tabs here.
Okay. And after creating the epic, I would need to create a sprint also, right?
Yeah. You will have a create sprint button. Just click on that.
Create sprint. Where can I get that, Neeraj?
The same window here, backlog itself, you'll get a create sprint option.
No, it's disabled, Neeraj. You need to create.
If it is disabled, what message do you see?
Just scroll down, you will get it.
I see that now.
Neeraj, normally product owners will put the things.
Yes, exactly. See, you can relate based on the basic practices here. Right now, because you are learning Jira, you're not learning Agile process, so you will have access to everything. But of course, you can relate back to your practices, that how exactly who does that, who is responsible for what. So Jira admin will get access to accordingly to those roles.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So team, if you're done, please drop me a message. Those who are done.
Neeraj, if about we have a bug and we want to restrict that bug, like once that developer has worked on it, it should directly go to the done. So can we do that? Can we make that
Of course,
changes?
we have automation for that, and you can write scripts to determine that what condition you want. So basically, when you have a workflow, I hope you understand what is workflow. So in the workflow, you can define a condition that if this activity or this developer has worked on it, then only this will move to done status automatically. So you can do that using Jira Administrator, not here. Yeah, Jira admin has access options for listeners. You can have script runner and you can write the script and it can run that customized too.
Okay.
That comes as a part of
So
workflow
changing the
customization.
flow of issues also comes into Jira administration.
Yeah, for each issue type, you can have different workflows, and workflow you can have further customization.
Okay.
Even some update has been happened for this particular issue, automated maze triggering, everything will be taken care from Jira admin, right?
Yes, exactly. Anything you want to say that you should not come to in progress back after done, you can do that. If you say in progress to done should not happen directly until unless it is resolved. So resolved, what's the condition? Resolve issue is a feature in Jira. So those kind of things can be enabled and customized by Jira administrator.
Okay, actually, who will give the inputs to Jira? Like
you,
Scrum Master. I mean, in the sense, the user.
Anyone. Okay. See, for example, if a tester comes from a different organization and joins you today, then he says, "What if we do something like this?" Then he will definitely share that thought with you, and you say that, "Okay, fine, write a request to the admin that if he can do that." So you will approve it, and that Jira admin will do that.
Okay, Miss, what I thought it will pre-enabled. I mean, most of the stuff.
No. See, when it comes to the customization, it is completely based on your project specifications. If your project says that I don't want bug, then he should remove in your project. If another project says that I want bug, and this is the workflow, then he will customize according to that. Okay. Yeah. So as in what you wanted, you will let your admin know, and he will customize it for you.
Okay.
So in cloud, right now we are admin, right?
Right now you're admin for certain access, not for everything.
We can send invite to Gmail, Niraj, from here.
Yeah, you can send. If you have a Gmail other account, you can please invite yourself to the project. Okay. Please have at least one user in your project, because we will see some of the options there when we filter it. For learning filters, it will be helpful. So all of you, please include another account, your personal account itself, to your project. Good. Just keep clarifying these small things. It's very interesting. It helps many others. Like you may have one question, but many other will understand that as well. So just keep asking me quick questions like this, because this is a tool. This is not a theoretical session. It's more about understanding and troubleshooting. See, driving a car is simple, but troubleshooting a problem in the car is very important. Same way here. Because sometimes Jira admin doesn't know a lot of things. Of course, he's a trained person, but he might not be aware. So at least you can tell him that, yes, it can happen. This is the step. And then the admin will look into that. Yes, I can do that.
Neeraj, Prasanna here.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing the quick start option actually on my screen. So how to get it back?
Not sure, sir. They don't want to help you, probably. Maybe you would have closed it initially or something. This quick start option, even if you close it, so maybe cancel quick start is there. So if you cancel this, instead of closing, this disappears.
Okay.
So then there are two. Yeah, you will not get it.
I'll not get it back. Okay.
You will get it back. I've never tried that doing. Right now I did it for you. Generally, I don't do those button clicks. Probably in help you will have quick start. You should be having it to get it back. I'll get you. Don't worry.
Okay.
I've never done that before. Right now I did to show you that what you would have done.
Might be. I've clicked on that cancel quick start.
And I clicked on to show you.
Hi, Neeraj.
There is an option to get back to that, Neeraj.
Where it is, sir?
When you click on the cancel button, it gives a notification saying that this will remove the quick start from your screen. Reopen it by clicking on your avatar in the top right corner.
Okay, so let's go to avatar and then right corner. Where is it? We open quick start. Okay, sir, you got the solution, please.
Okay.
Enjoy. Thank you so much. Yes, sir. Yeah, somebody was asking me a question.
Yeah, so Neeraj, for
Thank
releases, do we need to release manually always, or it can be done automatically too?
No, see, it is basically a manual button. For example, let me go to release. I click on this, release V1, and then I have a button here. So you will only be notified on this day, that is 30th Jan 21, when is your release date. It will keep prompting you and let you know that today is your release day, are you ready? Then you will come here and mark it as release.
Okay.
The tool will not automatically release your product or mark it as released. It will just prompt you that, are you done? Because right now the status is unreleased.
Okay.
So you have to come here and mark it as released. Then only this unreleased status will change.
Okay. Thank you.
Because see, of course, the tool doesn't know how much you have worked on it. Are you ready to release it or not? So tool will not do anything.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
Neeraj, by now, I think by default, whatever epics we create will go in the roadmap, right? To restrict, maybe there are some epics which we don't want in the roadmap. How we can set it?
That you can determine in the administrator. See, I'm sounding a little funny by saying everything to admin. But
No,
that's the logic, to be frank.
Yeah. Got it.
Because whatever, see, of course you have a curiosity to explore something, but there are restrictions that what admin can do, what a user can do. So to be frank, a user can only be liable for creating a task and working on it and marking it as resolved or done. Other than that, everything which you talk from the point of custom demands will be completely taken care by Jira.
Admin. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yes. But I can tell you here that yes, it can happen or it cannot happen.
Okay.
Neeraj?
Yes, please.
Yes, I've just added one name. And how can I check if that name is added? The person has to register and all that, right?
Yeah, he has to click on that link and sign up. Then only this person will appear here.
Okay, fine.
And I think, Neeraj, we need to say start a team also. After
Yeah, of course. No, that's not really mandatory. For example, if you have not created a team, still you can have your teammates in the project who are like a Jira user. So when you create an issue and then go for assign it to someone, there you will see who are all your users. Okay. This is where it will show all users. So even if you don't have a team, all users will show that because you will need them here only, not nowhere else.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Team is only to further, notify or recognize them that this person belongs to which team. That's it.
Okay.
Yes. So are we done with versions, epics, and sprint?
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyone still working?
No.
All right. Thank you. So let's move to the next segment, which is to create issues, of course. Now, again, as we are going to learn a lot of things here, just not simply creating a issue, we will learn a lot of things to understand that what are the details, what you see. So please, a lot of new words are going to come into picture. So don't get behind creating an issue right now. Just listen to this. So this is what the button is to create an issue. Plus, in your backlog, you will have one more button here at the bottom to create an issue. Because of course, in a backlog, you can create an issue. So you will have a button here always in the backlog, but in the product backlog and the sprint backlog, both of them, you will have create issue option. That means Jira allows you to create an issue in the product backlog or sprint backlog as well. Plus a general button. That means no matter which tab you are in, for example, you are in releases, you can still click on this create button and create an issue right here. Okay. Which means that we are following a principle of the overall project management that a tool must allow you to create an issue no matter what you are doing right now. For example, maybe you are managing a release and you got something in your point and you create an issue. What if you are creating a component or you were working on the code and something went wrong, you can create an issue. So create button on the top will always be enabled irrespective of where you are, what are you doing in a Jira software. Okay. Second, the second option is only from the backlog. You can create an issue in the product backlog or sprint backlog respectively. The one which you create generalized, you can later associate them to a particular sprint, or by default it will come to the product backlog anyhow. Okay, but associating to the sprint has to be done manually if you create it using the menu option create. Okay, but if you create it here, what's the benefit? It automatically gets associated to that particular sprint. If you're using the create issue button here with below this sprint 1, then it automatically will be mapped to sprint 1. So some of your activities can be minimized, but should be smartly used wherever relevant. So point number 1, that you can create an issue at any point of time, no matter where you are, what are you doing. Second, you can create an issue even from the product backlog option or sprint backlog option. Third, the benefit what you get by using product backlog or sprint backlog, that it will be directly associated to that sprint if you create it in the sprint backlog. You don't have to do manual integration. But if you are using the general option in the menu bar and creating something, you have to tell that which sprint will you fall into. Okay, otherwise it will automatically come to product backlog by default, which you cannot control. It will come into product backlog anyhow. Okay.
Neeraj,
yes,
small question. Really sorry to interrupt. So
please.
Like how we have release for release, we have particular dates, right? We have selected a time frame. So like the same way, do we have option to select a time frame for a sprint, because sprint duration might vary?
Of course, that's what the plan sprint is. Oh no, sorry. You have to go to the issues management and select that sprint. Sorry, why I'm going to issues? Go to active sprint and didn't we get a prompt while creating the sprint? Did you get a prompt?
No, we didn't get. I didn't get prompt. Automatically, it was created by that default name. And on clicking on add one more sprint, same name came without time frame. I mean, like I didn't get any.
I'll tell you. Wait. When you start the sprint, then they will ask you that. Okay.
Yeah. When we will start the sprint, it will ask for the timeline.
Yes, correct. So that's why we have not yet come here. Don't worry, we will show that to you.
Okay.
Of course, wherever timeline is applicable, it will show you the timeline. Okay. So let's create issues. So click on create. And here, of course, you have understood that there are different types of work item. So we are now creating first a user story. Why these details are changing? Can you see that? I was in Epic. I had something else, Epic name and summary. The moment I come to story, I don't see a story name. This is what we call it as screen. Okay, we call it as screen. Screen means the window which will be visible to you when you select a specific issue type. The window or the details which is displayed to you when you select the issue type is called as screen in Jira. Screen. So what screen is visible to a user when creating an issue type will be controlled by administrator again. An administrator, if he wants, he can change these options, whatever you see here, and customize it. The screen can be created for 3 different views. Okay, 3 different views. 3 different views are create, view, or edit. Okay, we have 3 different screens of any issue. Create, view, or edit. And we can have different screens for any of these or any of the type of issue. But again, this will be completely done by the Jira administrator, not at all in the control of a user or a project administrator. Okay. Now, the very first activity which we are doing is creating an issue. Is story. So let's write a story here. That remember we created an epic that we are creating an entertainment section of the app. Now in entertainment comes movies, news. Okay. So what latest is happening on different movies, what's rating and other things, all stories you can create. If you want, you can have some attachments. If you have created the components already, like the feature in Rally, then you can associate that here. So right now I have not created any component, thus it is not showing me anything here, saying none. But if you have created a component, it will show you that list drop down, and you can drop down and select which component this activity or user story is related to. Then, of course, you have attachments, where attachment allows you to upload directly from the system or make use of Dropbox or Google Drive. So Jira gives you that access that you can import it from Dropbox, Google Drive, or upload directly from a system. Okay. But of course, you have to connect and authenticate yourself to access the Dropbox and the Google Drive. Then comes the description, where you write a small description about what exactly this user story is all about. So you should write again information, because documentation, right? Documentation follows 3 C's concept. What are 3 C's? Clear, complete, and concise. It must be clear, whatever you are writing. It must be complete in all the manners, and concise, that is to the point. You should not write unwanted stories. Now, why do you do this? Because no matter you are creating this, maybe you are a manager, or maybe you are a tester, or maybe business analyst or scrum master, whoever you are, but it will be referred by many others. So the detail what you mention will help them to understand that what exactly you are asking me to do here. So just properly write a description here, and you can proceed ahead. Next comes, who is the reporter of this particular issue type? Who is the one who is creating it? So by default, it will pick up the person who is signed in and clicking on the create button. So it will be you, okay, who will be reporting this. Linked issues. If there is any kind of relationship between one issue to another issue, then you can create that relationship using the linked issues option. Okay. There are 3, or I can say 6 options. This issue blocks another issue. Then use the first option. For example, T2 is dependent on T1. Then if I'm creating T1, I will mention it here that T1 blocks T2. So until unless T1 is complete, T2 cannot be in progress. But this is not a workflow. This is just a relationship. It will not create a condition that if a user goes to T2 and starts working on it, it will control that. No, it is just a relation that if I'm going to work on T2, I should make sure that T1 is complete. That's it. Okay, so we are just creating a relation. Do not estimate that or understand that this can control your workflow. No, it will not control the workflow. It will just give you information that it has a dependency. Otherwise, other way around, if you're creating T2, you should use is blocked by T1. So any of these you can write it. Either you say T1 blocks T2 or T2 is blocked by T1. So this is where one thing is which can be written here. Second, what other relation you can have? Clones. It could be a copy, a duplicate task which multiple people are working on it. So of course I have to track everyone's contribution and activity. So I may create a clone of the same activity and assign it to multiple people. But that time I have to specify that this T1 is a clone of T2 or T2 is a clone of T1. So which is the parent, which is the child? So you should use it accordingly. Is clones this or is cloned by this one? Like parent to child, child to parent. Similarly, duplicates. It is a duplicate, so clone could be like a related activity. Someone is doing a valid test, another person is doing invalid test of the same activity or same page, same feature. So use it effectively wherever applicable. Duplicates, of course. Duplicates is the exact copy of that without any inheritance or features or properties change, and duplicated by, which can be used by defects. Generally, when you have bugs, this option are very well used. For example, you report a defect today, and tomorrow again you report a defect, but both the defect were because of one common root cause. So the developer will resolve one issue and mark the other one as duplicates issue number 1. So he don't have to resolve that practically because the root cause was same for both the defects. So he just duplicates, he will mark it as and relate that relation. And the last one is simply relates to. If it has any kind of dependencies, independent, like of testing or development or architecture, it has certain relationship and you want to showcase that it relates to this. So if you are working on T1, please refer T2 once before you start working on T1. It does not have any specific technical or logical dependency, but it has some relation to that. So before you start working on login, please refer the requirements of registration. That password can be only this or username can be only this. And then you start testing the login page or developing or creating the architecture or whatever. So these are some of the linking options which you have in Jira issue types. Okay. If you are using any of these options, next to that, you will have another option called as issue, like blocks, which issue. So you should select that. So right now we don't have only one, we have Epic, but you cannot use this. So you can select that below this. So first you declare the relationship, clones or cloned by, duplicates or duplicate by or relates to, and then tell him which issue. Okay, because that issue will also be in your project itself. Next is fix version, which means that if an issue is unresolved for some reason that you are not going to fix it, like won't fix another situation which you have, or probably I cannot reproduce. So whenever you mark it as deferred, right? Deferred means that you accept it, but probably for some reasons we cannot resolve it right now. What is the reason that you will specify? And here you will specify that which version you're going to fix it. Okay, the future version is probably 1.2, 1.3, 1. So you can specify that only if it is rejected or deferred. Then comes assignee. By default, it will be on automatic. That means, that round robin and those kind of concepts can be applied here as well. And it will automatically assign it to someone. But no, if you want to do it manually, just drop down and select the user whom you want to assign it. That I'm the one who is creating it, but I want to assign it to one of my team member who should work on it. So drop down and select the user, or simply click on assign to me if you want to work on your own task. So just click on assign to me and it will pick up your name, okay, which will always be there. It is not dependent on cloud or server instance. Any Jira, you will have this feature. Then comes the priority. Of course, the one who is creating should have analyzed that what kind of priority does it have, whether it is a user story, task, or bug. Everywhere comes priority and criticality, which is severity. So right now we have priority here because generally all our activity in Agile are generally prioritized, and priority is an important concern. You can define the priority. Again, here you have a 5-scale option. 5-scale is very generic standard, which we use, like highest, high, medium, low, lowest. So this is a 5-scale measurement for priority, severity, and anything. So this can be customized if you want. You want only 3-scale measurement of priority, like high, medium, low. Then you should call your administrator and he can change this. Okay, or you don't want priority, or you want one more field, severity, to determine criticality as well as priority both, then contact admin. Labels. If you have any labels which are associated with that, for example, labels can also be like, title or probably the segment, like this is related to the unit testing, this is related to acceptance testing, this is related to development review or code review. So those kind of labels can be created and you can make use of that. Okay, and can you see that a message here below that? Every field will have a message to tell you that what you can do here. So here it says, begin typing to find and create labels, or press down to select a suggested level. That means you must be wondering, right, that where do you create label? That is the next question. So of course you can create it right here. For example, this is a user story. I don't want to mislead with that. But for example, if I say unit test, okay, new label. So if you give space, it will take it as 2 labels. So I don't want to do that. Then I just go with unit testing. Create it as a new label. That's it. So you can create your labels right here, and this will be shown in any other review issue type when you create it again. So it will create it and stored. So you can reuse it. Then comes epic link, right? So now you are creating user story. Don't forget, right? User story. So you will have an option here to link it to a particular epic, which you have already created. So link that, and then comes the sprint. Of course, which sprint you are going to cover that. So sprint 1 is going to be covered. The option what you have at the bottom here is create another or create, and then cancel. Cancel will simply close this. No changes will take effect. Nothing will be saved. Create will create this issue and close this dialog box. Okay, create will create this issue and close this dialog box. But what if you back-to-back want to create multiple issues? For example, 5 to 10 issues you want to create continuously. Then use this option, create another. Create another will just add the issue and refresh the window to continue further. Okay, continue further. So let's do that. Click on create. Right. So you should get a message here. Can you see that? Issue TIN2 movies news has been successfully created. So this is a user story. Now let's create a task under this. Okay. Task. Movies like educational movies news. So I want segments within the app, right? If a person goes to Daily Hunt, he clicks on entertainment, and entertainment should show me 4 boxes or grids which says movies. Okay, and in movies, if I click again, the further filter shows me that what type of movies are you looking for? Education, romance, drama, fiction, or Netflix kind of thing, like series, right? So I'm further creating those as tasks within that. So education movies, any attachment, description. So now can you see my issue type is task? Let's see what details are here. Reporter, issue, fixed version, all these details are here. And can you see it is automatically picking up because your user story was related to that, right? And it will be in sprint 1. Continue. So window will not close. You can continue creating. For example, romantic movies. That's it. Assigned to whom? Automatically assigned to you. Continue. So you can just keep on creating this. For example, drama. Create. Now, once you are done creating everything, probably for the last creation, you can uncheck this, or you can just simply click on cancel. So I don't want to say this message is for the new one. Okay, so now can you see that I have got 4 issue types here. Epic is not going to be listed here because Epic is different. You have user story and 3 tasks, and all of them are here. Now, if I want to edit, now can you see that start sprint button is automatically enabled now because I've got some issues here. And nothing is in my product backlog. Everything is here because while creating the issue, I associated with this sprint 1. If you want to create anything outside, just deassociate or remove that. So let's click on a particular issue and you can see the details. This is called as view. Okay, remember the 3 screen. One is create, second is view, and third is edit. So this is the second screen which you're seeing on the right side. We call it as view screen. Now view screen allows you to attach, create a subtask. Creation window does not allow you to create a subtask. The view window is allowing you to create a subtask. So that's the difference between the screen. Okay, screens can be different for create, view, edit for any type of issue. So if you want in your organization to have different fields and different provisions when you are creating an issue or editing an issue or deleting an issue, then ask your administrator to create a different screen as you want it. Okay. Now you see create subtask option is there. You can link issues and many more. Add the apps. To do. Now you see the workflow status. That right now the status is in to do. We want to start working on this, go for in progress or done, or view the workflow. Click on this right away and you will see the workflow which is going to be followed. Okay, we will talk about the workflow. Don't worry, what is this, all this, that and all. We will talk about it later. So just click on close here at the bottom and you'll be back here. Now you can still see that you can add a description. Plus, you can see much more options which were not there when you were creating it. What is that? Estimate. Estimate was not there when you were creating it, but right now I have it. Time tracking, will be happening only when you have done the estimation and as your activity progresses. Time tracking will be done. Component and fixed version was always there. So that's then you have history and work log. History, of course, any kind of changes which has happened, and work log is any kind of activity progress on that. And the last but not the least, the comment. Just like social media, whatever you do, you keep commenting on each of the activities, which lets the reporter know that what you have done today on this. Okay, so generally I'm the boss. I created the issue type associated to one of my engineer, and the engineer has to daily report me what is the progress. So every day evening, he should come and write a comment here that today we have done this much and we will be expecting this to be completed by day after. So comments will be visible to the manager as well as the engineer. Then manager can respond to this. Engineer can further continue chatting on the comments itself. So comment to comment discussion can happen. History will show if there were any changes which were done on the issue. For example, I create the issue right now and give it to the engineer, but tomorrow I thought I missed some information. So I can update it, and that update will be visible here in history tab, that it was updated 2 minutes ago. By whom? Okay, so created by Neeraj Singh 4 minutes ago. Same way, just like activity log in your social media. Activity log, it will show you what is the activities which has happened. Or commented 3 minutes ago. Who? Manager or engineer? So all that thing will be shown in the history tab. And the work log, of course, allows you to show the progress of the activities. But this has to be configured, that we will see later. How to do estimate? You know estimation process, like those planning poker and this, that, and all. So here you just have to give it in the duration. What's the duration? For example, I say 180 minutes. It is going to take. Just click a tick here. There will be a tick and cross. So tick that, it takes 3 hours. Now time tracking will automatically start. 3 hours remaining. After 3 hours, it will show that what exactly you have done, whether you moved into the progress and whether it was moved to done and not. So that kind of progress can be created and measurement can be done with help of the graphs. Now I've told you so many things here. Okay, just with respect to creating an issue, a simple issue. You have a lot of details, you have different screens, and then when you create it, you have some details. When you come to view, you have some other details. You can still update a lot of details when after creating the issue. So please keep everything in mind that these are all the things which you will have it when and where. Okay, so any questions here?
So this you did, Neeraj, was under time tracking, isn't it? 180 minutes.
Yeah, original estimate is 3 hours and time tracking is measuring this 3 hours, that whether you complete this task or not.
So this is under work log.
Yeah.
Dheeraj, when you here,
yeah,
how to reassign the issue to someone else?
Simple. Come to the assignee, click here and change it.
Okay.
See, it just looks like white, but if you hover your mouse on that, then you can see that it is editable. Okay.
Okay.
So while creating a new issue, if we selected create another issue, so it creates the issue in the same component, or it create the issue in different component also?
No, it will pick up the data from the first creation by default. If you want, you can change it.
Okay.
Okay. It's just not going to fix it there. You can change it when you're creating the next issue.
Okay, thank you.
What does an import issues option do?
That's from a different project if you want to import issues.
Okay.
Can we do here related to budgeting that like we did here for the time estimation?
Okay, let me just go to. Budgeting, I don't think you will be able to do that. You only have story points, estimates, and time tracking.
Okay.
Because the only reason I will see is because I work on different versions quite often. Like last week, I was working on Jira Service Desk Management. Before that, I was working on Jira Core, and they have different options. So I will have to bring myself back that which version I'm on. Yes, please. So yeah, that's not here.
Yeah, Neeraj, if you can repeat about component, what you told.
Component is basically a feature. For example, I may have a feature in my application is to transfer money. Now, transfer money has several options. Like it can be done through Google Pay, it can be done through Paytm, it can be done through banking application itself, the app which is provided by the bank. So feature is transaction or money transfer. Now there are different test cases which are written or different codes which are written, like APIs are written to interact with Paytm, interact with Google Pay. So whenever I'm running these test cases, one is to test Paytm, one is to test Google Pay, one is to test the internet banking app itself, I will relate these tasks to a particular feature so that I have understanding that these test cases are traceable to which feature or which feature actually I'm covering. So coverage measurement, condition coverage, statement coverage, all these kind of things can be done easily if you have integrated to this feature. So it's just that you create features which are core features of the product, and then whatever task you create, you relate them to specific features which they are related
to. Okay.
Okay. And here we call it as component. So create component, then this component will be visible in your issue creation window. So please create some of the issues on your own and experience all these features, all these options, all these fields, and please make sure that you get it clarified if you have any concerns. Navigate, look around, whatever you see, just ask me, because probably I will cover them one or the other way in different lectures. But if you see something there, just let me know that, okay, what is this option? What is that option? Just get it comfortable. That's more important.
So in create issue pop-up, I see an option for configure fields. So can I customize my board according to the settings?
Okay, what is this option? Please, team, please have a look here. As she has asked, let me cover that. I thought of doing that next after the break. But as she has asked, let me tell you. So of course, import issue will allow you to import issues from other projects and other sources. Second is configure fields. Here you see two options, all and custom. So if you click on all the fields are visible to you when you create an issue. When you click on custom, you can decide which field should be shown to you when creating an issue. But don't forget, this is a project admin feature. This is not a Jira admin feature. This does not mean that you have removed it. It's just that you are hiding it, that it will only show me 3 fields. Just go for this and come back. Do you see? I have only summary, component, description, and priority. What about other fields? Nothing. Because I customly defined that only these things should be visible. Then if I check labels and come back here, I see labels, right? So this is me as a project admin who can define what should I see, because not everything you update probably when you create it, or just think logically as per the process. When you're creating an issue, maybe you don't have all the information, or maybe you have everything. Then it's mandatory that you link everything to creating an issue. But generally, when you are creating an issue, probably you just write the title and the summary. Later, you define by analyzing the priority, this, that, and linkage, relation, duplicates, this, that, and all after creating it. right? So you can always filter this by using the custom button and decide what should be visible to you while creating. And this is not only for this time. If you have set it to custom, every time you click on create button, it will only show you these fields. And again, you can see all button is enabled, switch between that. All custom. All custom. Okay. Where is my field? There's a button here. Where is my field? It will tell you what is field. So it will just say, for example, I go for status. Can you see? It will show you the location that where exactly this field can be found. Issue type task, screen is create issue, and field is status. Status, the status field is not present on the form you are viewing right now. It is available in only these things. So this is a such kind of thing which you will find. Okay, so these are the three things. Okay.
Import issues, there is CSV and configuration file also, right?
Yeah. Yes. So there are two things. One, of course, you would have exported already from an external project or something, or maybe from other source. So of course you can import from CSV, or you can configure it to link it to other configuration file, which comes from the administration. I'll try to show this option importing. Let me just export some issue types from my other project and try to show you how you can import using CSV at least. Okay, because there is a 4-step wizard here. First is setup, then settings, then map the fields. You should tell them that which field is which field to your project, because in other project they might be using a different name. So you have to map the fields accordingly to your project and then map values and then hit OK. That's it. It will import everything to your project. So maybe tomorrow I'll just see if I can export from other projects. I'll just show you how to do this import. Yes.
I have
so many things here.
I have a small question, Neeraj. So, like at the moment, we have, while creating a user story or task, we can give a epic link. Just in case, if we have a component, like we have a feature in place, is it able to? We'll be able to customize in place of epic link. Can we give a component link?
No. You have a component field already here. Here, can you see that?
Yes.
And then you have an epic. So these are two different fields. So either you connect to your component directly, you don't have to change your epic, or else get epic removed if your organization is completely following that it should be linked to a feature rather than an epic. So which business model you are following, you just ask your admin to customize your field accordingly.
Okay.
Otherwise, by default, it provides both the fields.
Oh, okay. So if we have components, I think it will give
you don't have to link epic. Yeah, just be optional. You can say optional, or have a message there that if component is associated, then epic should not be associated.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do that.
Neeraj, Prasanna here.
Please.
Sir, if we have already created a story, so can we create a task for the created already created story?
Yes, it's both the way. You first create a user, then create this one. But there are only two relations in Jira. As logically speaking, from Agile point of view, you either you relate a task and user story to an epic and sprint. That's it. So user story and task is just that user story is broken into simpler forms.
Okay.
Yeah. So here
we cannot associate that task to. Okay.
No.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want, you can have a field. You can customize your workflow according to the need, and you can have a field just like at the bottom, epic and sprint. You can have user story as well. So you can say that this task belongs to this user story.
Okay. So to just to link that task to that particular.
Yes. You can do that.
Okay.
Then this control flow can be further defined that whether you have created the user story first and then the task. So right now it is independent. Right now it is independent.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm done.
All right. Any more questions, team? As
when
Please.
I create an issue, that is story, there is a column, there is a field of linked issues. So of course, when I am not, it doesn't block or is not getting blocked or is not cloned. So I have to add a default one. So shall I add relates to in that case?
Relates to, yes, relates to you can go for, but actually it is like default, to be frank. You can also have an option here that does not matter or not applicable, because not everything will be related. Sometimes you may have an independent task which has no relation to anything.
It doesn't have.
Yeah, it doesn't have. So you can definitely ask your admin to have that. Why? Because generally you have any or the other relation. Either it is clone, duplicate, or relates to. So you will definitely use relates to option. But in case you have your project has certain activities which are not going to follow in any of these categories, then you can ask your admin to add one more field, one more value that is not applicable. Okay.
Yeah.
Neeraj, can you click on create issue in the backlog? I mean, almost. No, just close it.
Just a moment, please.
In the backlog. Under backlog. Yeah. Here, how we need to proceed?
Nothing. Just type the name, whatever type is. So here is a drop down. You can select what is that you are creating. User story, bug, or task. Okay. So say for example task. You just write the name. So you can only provide the name. Later, once you edit it after creating, these are quick creations. So say for example, I create one more task that is horror movies. Okay. And then just hit enter. It's created. But of course, there are no details related to this, like what is the component, this, that, and all. So later you can edit this and have that.
So just we need to click on that and then go into that and.
Yeah, just double click on this and you will be taken here, unassigned, and this, that is coming here, right?
Okay.
So here you can just change the medium priority labels, this, and all 6 fields. You can do that. So that is a quick creation. So basically, of course, for each and every activity, there's a logic, how to do it, where to do it. So if you quickly want to just log something, right? Something is coming to your mind. So you go to backlog and just mention it. And later you can definitely add the details.
We can drag and drop in the particular, right?
Yeah, you can drag and drop to the sprint as well. Yeah. So if you go to this, you can just push it like this.
Yeah.
Or you can take it out. Like this will not be handling in this. So, these things can happen.
Neeraj, one more question. So once the sprint have the issues, right? Like at the moment we have user stories and tasks, so we can start the sprint. But the sprint doesn't define when it starts and when it stops, is it? Or like do we have...
No, wait. Let me click on start sprint. Can you see that? It shows the sprint name, which I can edit, a duration, then date as well, like start date and end date, and sprint goal. Now there are 10 working days in your sprint as per the scheduled 2 weeks, and start it. That's all.
Okay, so we can create the sprint in advance, like we might.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
This is what we did, right? Sprint we already created, then we created issues.
Yes.
You can see that here you have a button create sprint, right? You can always create a sprint without even having a issue type or issues.
And Neeraj, one more time. When task is created, task cannot be part of a story. It has to be independent of a story.
Story, that's what I'm saying. That's what I think another person also asked me. Right now, if you talk about the template, it does not allow me to tap it to a particular user story. Okay, but if you want in your organization to have it tagged to a user story, just like Epic and Sprint, then you can ask your administrator to create a dependency that whenever I create a task, I should be marking that which user story it belongs to.
Okay.
So for example, like this, if I go to task, at the bottom, I see two linking, like Epic and Sprint. So right now, as per the default layout and workflow, I do not have a user story tapping here. So you can ask your administrator to create a new field, which is user story, and should be only visible when I create a task.
Okay.
Yeah.
Neeraj, I see two different options. One is a fixed version and another one is the fixed version. So what is the difference between these two options?
Just please help me. Where did you find that?
In create issue pop-up.
Okay, this one.
Yeah.
Just a moment.
I'm creating a bug.
Okay, you're creating a bug. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I have not yet here. Don't worry. That's what I was wondering. How did you see that?
Okay.
Okay, so this is effects version. That is for this one, regression. For regression, we will inform them that once this bug is created, or like, okay, say it from this way, that I report an issue. I'm reporting an issue right now by creating a bug. So there are multiple releases of a particular build, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. So which version you can find this defect?
Okay.
So we show that here that affects which version. So you show that list like, okay, V1 I found this, or V1.1 I found this, V1.2 I find this. Because developers, for them, it is very important when they have released multiple builds, multiple releases of a single module, then they should be very much precise that which build you got it. Like initially it was not there, now we got it, or earlier it was there, now we don't have it. So are we reporting something which is outdated? So those kind of things will be important. So fix version, and when you create a task, then you say which version you're going to fix this task or complete this.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Neeraj, I created another sprint and I added task for that, but sadly I'm unable to see the any option to change the date or like.
Really? Because I think you not started your first sprint at all. It should complete, then only you can do that the second one, right?
Okay, so the times we can't predefine, you know, we had.
Yeah, you only get the date options when you click on the start sprint button, right? So until unless sprint 1 is over, your sprint 2 cannot start. And sprint 2 start button will only allow you to change the dates.
Okay. I was just like considering, like usually in what happens in Agile, we do the plan. So in that case, maybe admin can, Jira admin can, we will be able to customize?
Starting a sprint and scheduling a sprint, right?
Yeah, because most of the time sprint lengths are defined, you know, they never change.
I know. I might have to look into this because so far I'm not sure that if I would have modified such things ever in my history. So probably I have to check if there is a script for that, because we do have something which is beyond Jira Administrator called as scripting automation. So if anything cannot be done by Jira admin using options, which are in the Jira admin, you further create certain scripts to control the Jira. So that is the third phase. One is this Jira user, second is Jira admin, and third level is scripting, which you can further customize. So I have to check in scripting if that allows us to schedule the sprint before running. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Let me check on that and I'll get back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Neeraj.
Sure. All right, so anything else, Steve? All right. So I think we are close to our lunch break already, to be frank, we are away. But that's a good discussion and I never want to hamper that. So we will be taking a break now And during the break, if you are a little early after your lunch and other things, then please try to create some more issues. Okay, because we need more issues, at least like 10 issues. Just create some 10 issues so that we can play around with them to understand some other options within Jira. Okay, so create at least all of you 10 issues during this break, and once you come back, we will further continue with other options. We need more issues to do some different options and learnings within this Jira software. Okay,